Oh, I guess we're live. My goodness. The internet has been slow around here. By the way, here's Mr. Purr. Can't really tell if you're seeing him very well, but there he is. Makes a very important contribution to the show. He sits there and purrs during the show. It's probably a subliminal sort of contribution, sort of the subliminal kitty purrs there. But he's mostly here with me during the shows, so it's really his show. He's really the star of the show, aren't you? Yeah, you're gonna look at the camera and show me your pretty eyes. You wanna look up here and show me your eyes? No. He's a handsome boy. There he is. He's a handsome cat. Yeah. Very pretty. He has extremely light green eyes, almost gray-green. Very pretty. Why, if anybody is here, I cannot see you. Because it says there's 5 of you and I can't see any chat. So, hope StreamYard is not being a putz. Our guest showed up. Yay. Tonight we have a special guest, Lady Spellbreaker. You know her, you love her. Come on in and talk to her. She's going to tell us about 13 signs. Hey.
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
Hey, gorgeous sister. How you doing?
All right. How are you?
Good to see your face. And
surprise.
Road Trip Eddie is here. Hello, yeah. Road Trip Eddie. That's a new one. Okay. Hey, so doggone, it just the way that it happened tonight. We just realized that the stars were telling us that Lady Spellbreaker had to be on tonight. Okay. And you know how I am. That's the way I roll. If the energy says it's got to be this way, then that's the way we're going. Hey, does anybody out there notice anything different about their name? Are you feeling a little blue, Michelle?
Oh, I see you, Michelle.
Michelle is a mod now. I don't know if she realizes that.
I'm feeling a little blue in my name, too.
Yeah, you're feeling kind of blue, too.
Thank you for that.
Hey, Ken Rotman. How you doing?
So I can see. Hello, Ken.
And it came in, Anna Mentos. Yeah. Yeah, this was very interesting how this happened, because I had a feeling I really needed my astrology done again before all of this weird stuff was coming in. I mean, we got weird astrology coming in, folks. You already know that, I'm sure. A lot of you do, but I mean, this is weird. And so I was thinking we need somebody who knows more about astrology than I do, because I know something about astrology. I am not the in-depth type with it, though. I'm not very in-depth with it. And it seems like Lady Spellbreaker is far more in-depth than I am with it. And because a lot of you are Ophucius, amazingly, guess what? She's got all kinds of information about Ophucius. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about what's coming up with the planets. We're going to talk about all kinds of things like that. If you have a particular thing you need to ask about, let us know. I'm not sure we can do we can't do an astrology reading for every single person, but we can kind of tell you what's coming up generally, and Um, okay, let's just leave it at that. I'm gonna let Lady Spellbreaker talk for a few minutes, and we're gonna run the intro, and then we're just gonna let you run, okay?
All
You
right.
can. Okay.
You had a surprise for me because I did your chart and you were like, "You want to be a guest?" And I was like, "Oh, hold on, let me get myself together here," because I was
I
late.
know this was spur of the moment. It was basically I saw my chart. I'm going, holy guacamole, Batman. Um, my chart has always been freaking weird. Okay, and then I find out at the new start of the new age, I'm an Ophucius. My sign changed. What? I've been a Sag, I thought, all my life. No, no, I never was. Well, I was for a while, I guess. In a progressed chart, I was a Sag for a while, but now I've progressed even to a Capricorn, but my Saturn is still. Ah, brother, see, my Saturn and my Jupiter run like railroad tracks through my chart. They're conjunct 1 degree, so I almost have a double planetary ruler of my chart. In my chart, I'm almost a double sign. So it's been a very weird life having Jupiter on the one hand, the planet of expansion, and Saturn on the other hand, the planet of contraction, both within 1 degree of each other. Let me tell you, this has not been a simple life. Now to find out I'm also Ophucius and going into Capricorn. Oh, okay. Say a few things. Tell us how you got into all this. Tell us a little bit. Give us a bit about a little bit, and then I got to run the intro, and then we'll really get into it. Okay. So
All
tell
right.
us.
Yeah, I started astrology back in 1999, I would say. And I really got off course. And I started, of course, with tropical Western astrology, which is what we teach here in the Western world. They do it in Australia. They still learn tropical in Australia too. The only place that's really different is like India, and they use Eastern Vedic astrology. So if you study India astrology, Vedic astrology, it matches 13 sign better. They are usually on the same energy. So I tend to listen to people that are teaching Vedic astrology. I only really listen to Raw Star mostly, 13, because she is the one that gives me the best in-depth information about 13 sign astrology. I learned about Ophucus probably back in 2013 and I rejected it. My stubborn Aries native son was like, "What? I'm not an Aries, and I'll be darned if I'm going to be an Aries." So I really was rejecting it because I was shifting from a Taurus to an Aries. And now I can really feel the fire in me because this eclipse is actually in Aries, and it makes a lot more sense now. I do have a
Aries is my rising too. That's another thing. Aries is my rising sign. So this is going to be like, wow, for me. Go ahead. Keep going. You're doing
and
great.
so I finally embraced it in 2019. And I found the Mastering the Zodiac channel, which is the only in-depth 13 sign astrology besides Raw Star that I have found. There's 2 channels on YouTube. One is Mastering the Zodiac, and he has his own website. And he does charts. Of course, he charges a lot of money. Raw Star, I think, is much more affordable, and she's in the UK. And she gives much more in-depth information. Like she's done a whole 2-hour video on this Pluto and Capricorn transit, which is really a big deal because Pluto rules death and endings, and Capricorn is even about addictions and the disciplinarian and structure Yes, contracting. You said contracting. Is that what you said with Saturn? Capricorn?
Contraction, yes. Well, Saturn is contraction and Jupiter's expansion. Jupiter is called the beneficent and Saturn the maleficent. However, oh, and that's interesting, or malefactor or something like that. Isn't that, though, interesting if Saturn was actually, because we know a lot of the planets and signs kind of got shifted.
Mm-hmm.
What if Saturn was maleficent? What if Maleficent was what, Isn't that interesting? The character of Maleficent, that just in a movie, that would be kind of interesting, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
If
Because,
it was bad press,
yes, and Jupiter originally ruled Pisces, a feminine water sign. Jupiter rules Ophucus, not Sagittarius. Originally, Jupiter belonged to Pisces and Ophucus. Jupiter belongs to Ophucus.
Seriously. Then
Yeah.
who has Sag then in the 13th sign?
Goodness. I'd have to go look at the chart. Let me see. Because,
That's
see,
okay.
Saturn's in
You know,
Aquarius now. And Saturn originally ruled Aquarius, not Capricorn. Everything's been changed. It's real tricky. It's very
wow. So
confusing. And I think that they literally did it on purpose to confuse us, to
I'm
mix up
sure.
all the energies and just like they changed the words in the Bible. I think the Bible translated properly is a map of the sky. Rostar says that Moses was Mars. Moses had the passion and the drive to lead the people out of Israel.
Well, there's astrological references all the way through the Bible. The Bible is all about astrology, and anybody who tries to say different is really not. They just don't know any better. I mean, honestly, the Bible is about a lot about us. I mean, almost the whole thing. If you know what you're looking at, if you know what you're looking for, and I think that's another thing they tried to hide. There's sects of Christianity that think that astrology, even act like astrology is something evil or something. No, it was part of the Bible. It was part of the belief. They hinged everything on astrology back in those days. They used it. Everybody used it. It was just a given fact, oh yeah, astrology. It was not, oh, well, maybe it's a belief that kind of sort of, this sort of popish sort of pop culture kind of thing. It was not at all. It was very serious business back in the old days.
Yes, I've got a link actually I would love to share with you about the ancient pharaohs in Egypt said do not change the astrology from 13 sign astrology because this is very important, and they were instructed people not to change it. And it has to do with Ophiuchus and being the river, the Nile. The galactic Ophiuchus is the galactic center of the Milky Way. And so
Holy car.
that do not change it at all.
Pardon me, I'm going to turn off one of these lights here.
No worries.
I like to be pink and purple right now.
I like to be in the low light too.
Yeah. I think it looks cool. So I don't have to read the cards, so I'm able to do that. When I read the cards, I have to have more light. But millionaires, oh yeah, psychics and astrologers, exactly. Michelle Cannon Free, you got a point there. And yeah, I probably because I've been there too. Yeah. Yeah. The difference between millionaires and billionaires, billionaires have psychics and astrologers. That's right. And you know what? I was my husband's psychic, and he came to me and he went very far with my advice. So my ex, I helped him get where he was. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, you can go a lot farther if you've got somebody that can help you with stuff like that. And it was a very big deal back in the old days. You know what? Do you want to say any more before I start the intro and let a few more people come in before we really get in the meat of this?
No, go right ahead. And do you care if I drop some links in the chat that relate to Ophucius and astrology?
No problem whatsoever. That would actually be helpful. And
Okay.
now you have the power. Okay. Let me just get the intro on and we can get that rolling.
All right.
And thanks for being ready for your chance at stardom on my channel.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Hello, kid. Which moon, Scotty boy?
This didn't play. Let me try it again. We're in the shadow of Mercury retrograde, though. Just remember that. It's going to be weird for a while.
And it's Mercury in Aries. I was just actually yelling at the computer before I came.
Yep. Yep. Okay, let me try this again. Here goes the intro. Be right back. Come on. Are we back? Yes, we are. Okay. The internet's very slow tonight, and time was just all over the place today. And Emmett was saying, you're time traveling somehow. You change it. It's, and I'm like, what do you mean? You're just time traveling. You're going through different times on the show. I'm like, what the heck does that mean? Emmett goes, I don't know how to explain it. I'm like, okay, well, it's not impossible. Really, I'm beginning to think almost nothing is impossible. It's all a big hallucination anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. Time doesn't even really exist, so it might just be feeling that way. If you're feeling that way too, maybe it's that time doesn't exist and we feel like it should be.
Right. I think probably. I mean, we have been told by some very wise thinkers that time doesn't really exist. It's a concept. And so, in fact, everything always happens. Everything's always happening at once. Even the multiple timelines and everything is always happening at once. So if we're having all kinds of other glitches in the matrix, why not that too, right?
Right.
I mean, I expect anything. I may be levitating someday when you come in here. I may easily start levitating, or maybe Cowboy will. I don't know. If he starts levitating, I'm going to get worried because he has a very strong hunting urge, and nothing will be safe anymore if he starts levitating. But okay, so several of you have said, hello, Scotty. How you doing? And who else came in? Somebody else came in. Somebody came in. Witch Moon came back in. Hi, Witch Moon. Witch Moon. That moon right there. That's Witch Moon. Okay, I'm just doing a little shout out here. Okay, and oh yes, Lady Spellbreaker. Oh, and Alphonse Huxley. Okay. Hello, y'all. Okay,
I was trying to find if Jupiter had an original besides Sagittarius. It does say Jupiter. It just says Jupiter. Like sometimes when I go back to look, it won't take you to something else. But it does. Even on Raw Star's website, it does say Jupiter.
So Jupiter has been with me this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically my chart is weird. It has always just been weird. And I just had the feeling like, yeah, all of this is coming up. I can see it's going to be huge. And maybe I should get this all checked out again. Because it's been a while since I looked at my chart. And of course, Lady Spellbreaker comes up and then, hey, I do. And I do like the 13 moon astrology, the lunar astrology, because I think that is more honest and more accurate. And maybe what me woman, you're back. Oh my gosh, from outer space. And I walk in to find you here with that. Oh, never mind. That's a song. Anyway. No, you're back. Hi. Good to see you. Oh, the Stock Explorer. Hello, Stock Explorer.
Another one of my friends. I invited a whole bunch of people, by the way.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's cool.
Everyone,
like I said,
thumbs up, please.
And yeah, thumb it up, and we're going to have to. You can use that link to put this, I guess, on your destination too. So you could run this on your own channel too.
Yeah, I shared it out to all the members of my channel, by the way. So
right, thank you.
A notification, and I shared it out to the public community as well.
That's very cool. That's very cool. So yeah, share it out, because this is her first time on, and I want it to be a really nice time here. I want us to have a nice little crowd here. But I got the notification. I'm sorry, I got the notification out so late. The time just went away. But the opportunity presented itself, and the energy looked like I had to have Lady Spellbreaker on, and voila, she was available, and here we go. We're on the 13 moon astrology and all the crazy shit that's going to happen this next month or so. Because it's going to be crazy.
Raw Star is even saying on hers, I was listening to this one earlier. She says the next 6 months, we need to be grounded. We need to be outside. We need to be, she said, put your on the concrete and your feet on the earth. I was just listening to her earlier. New moon solar eclipse.
Okay. I've been feeling that too. I actually have a grounding pillowcase that I plugged into the ground socket of my home here, because I want to stay grounded. But yeah, I'm seeing it's going to be a bumpy ride, but it's going to be very much worth it, because at the end of this, things are going to be so shook up, but they're also going to be a lot better for us all. It's going to be quite a shakeup, but it'll be worth it in the end, is what I keep hearing. All of this crazy shit that's going down this year.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It needs to happen.
It does. It absolutely. I think Raw Star has been saying, gosh, she's got so many videos actually. She did a video with the Magi, um, about Pluto's transit into Capricorn, which I just sent you, so you haven't even listened to it yet. But I've already listened to a big portion of it before. Um, she is talking about how things are really going to be coming to the surface with a lot of hidden things of people in power. I've been waiting too, and this, we're on our countdown since Gladys just said that. Our last total solar eclipse across America was August 21st of 2017. And so right now, next April 8th is going to be another cross of that same eclipse, a total solar eclipse. So we're on our year countdown for that. For next year. And I've been watching and waiting for lots of things to come to the surface. And I think now with Pluto actually in Capricorn, because tropical astrologers have been saying Pluto is in Capricorn, and they're probably saying Pluto's in Aquarius by now. But Saturn just moved into Aquarius, its ruling sign. Pluto is in Capricorn, about to go retrograde on May 1st with Mercury retrograde. So I feel like this is going to just really get intense, and we need to not get too caught up with everything that's going on in Hollywood. And we can keep an eye on things and be aware. But just like you were saying the other night, working with the energy, once we know what's going on, we can work with it and make sure we do our breath work and spend time outdoors, even when things are getting intense. Because when Saturn was in Capricorn in 2020, Ross Star is saying this year is going to be like 2020. And that's the year I lost my daughter. That's the year COVID broke out.
Mm.
Those riots were going on with, what is his name? George Floyd. And when I
Yeah.
looked at the Saturn and Capricorn charts, and I went back to the last time Saturn was in Capricorn, that's when the Rodney King riots were breaking out in LA. So, like, if you can, like,
Wow.
see history things with planetary movements, because the last time Pluto was in Capricorn was 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was signed.
Well, isn't that interesting? No, the Declaration of Independence that is so, oh, wow. Amazing.
So that
Amazing.
would be like, what, an introduction to the patriarchy.
Wow. Yeah, that's gonna make it's gonna make a difference. I think we're gonna see some very different. Well, the thing is we've gotten so far away from what I think the original idea was for the USA that I think we need to get back on course. And I think, but it's like I tell everybody is you want change, you want change. We're all dying for change. We're all literally, some of us are dying for change. But in order for that to happen, you got to have some things changed. You got to allow the
Absolutely.
changes, you're going to have to brace for the change, it's where nothing's going to happen. I mean, you're going to have, you have to break eggs to make the cake or whatever they say, and make an omelet or whatever. You're going to have to see some things fall in order to see some other things rise. That's just the way it works. And I think this year we're going to see things fall and rise, both, as a
I
matter of
I
fact.
I agree. And that eclipse coming October 14th is a lunar eclipse. No,
Oh, really?
it's going to be Oregon to Texas. So Gladys, in which
Ooh.
room? It's right there in your neck of the woods, my friends. The annular solar eclipse. So, a lot of people, especially if you might be a fixed zodiac sign, you might be resistant to change. And right now, like honestly, I just did 2 3-hour readings. I like to go slow and read the information slowly because we're learning about the houses and astrology. And I do herbal cards and essential oils. And so I do 2 parts and they're 3 hours each. And the acceptance card came out of the Queen of the Moon oracles. So just being able to accept the changes instead of resisting it, because sometimes we can be resistant to change and not so adventurous. We want to stay with but we really do need these changes to come. The whole planet does for many reasons. We've all been traumatized this whole pandemic, not to mention extra traumatization we've all had in our lives.
Mm-hmm. And actually, reading more about Ophucius, it explains a whole lot of things that happened to me in my life. I didn't have all this information about Ophucius. People were kind of acting like, oh, it's not a real sign. It's just kind of a pop culture thing that they just popped in there to be silly and whatever. I was like, no, Ophucius is a rather important sign, which is why it has been hidden all this time, correct?
It's
Um,
the healer, the serpent bearer, the spell. Anybody that's an Ophiuchus rising would be the spellbinder. I do know some Ophiuchus risings, and they are here to break the spells. Um, Hold on, let me look at the fixed sign, Scotty boy. And Scotty, what's your birthday? You might have shifted to Pisces. I didn't want to go back into.
Aries is a cardinal sign. I know it's a cardinal sign, Aries. Isn't it one of the cardinal signs? I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Some of these are so drawn out, and there's ads all in things. I wish they would just not do that.
Oh,
It makes it so much harder to just read something.
okay.
Here, let me
May
get.
I suggest for everybody, get yourself a Brave web browser. Get yourself the Brave web browser. Why? Because the Brave web browser will block out all of that.
Oh, let
All
me
of
write.
the, and you don't have to worry about no clickbait ever again if you get yourself a nice Brave web browser. Why can't I say web browser? Web browser. But yeah, the
Scotty would
Brave.
be a Pisces. Fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius.
Mhm.
All right, here we go.
Oh,
Card sign.
okay, wait a minute. Me, woman says me and her youngest are the same day. Weird. Okay, so basically she's going to be an Ophiuchus too. She's an Ophiuchus. Or Ophiuchus. Is that how you say it?
It's like with a K as far as an Ophiuchus. I say
Ophiuchus?
it like you could pronounce it like Ophiuchus, like kiss, like a kiss.
Okay, Ophiuchus.
Yeah,
Like, oh, few kiss my grits.
yeah.
Okay. I'm an old few kiss my grits, mother. Well, anyway.
Yes.
James Ortiz. Well, let's get his name back. I'm a little dyslexic, I'll admit it, okay? Ortiz just came in. Gladys and Gladys Q. Kravitz. Gladys Q. Kravitz. You know what? How many people here are Ophiuchus? I'm just wondering, are Ophiuchus?
You will be born between, hold on a second. Let me think. November 29th and December 17th is Ophiuchus. Ophiucan energy.
Okay, just wondering how many of you are in tonight for this or know somebody who is in that time? Because we have a lot of information. She has a lot of links on Ophucius, and I was surprised. The Serpentarius, and they changed it to a man, of course, but it was originally a woman, I guess. And you know what? And now it makes sense every time I saw that snake goddess with the, the one with the two serpents that they show sometimes. It's like a pretty famous little statue where the woman is holding the two serpents. I thought, oh, that's a cool statue. I mean, I was very drawn to that. And I like snakes. I actually do like snakes. So, you know, um, I I even had a little snake at one point that liked to nest in my hair and tickle my ears. So I named it Harmless, Harmless the snake, so people wouldn't be afraid.
So
Because I'd walk around with her in my hair.
when you were even called to that before you even knew about Ophucus?
Yeah, I had no idea that was what.
You're so.
Yeah, I'm intuitive. I like, yeah, and didn't know I was progressed into Capricorn, but I was reading Capricorn because Saturn conjunct my sun 1 degree, which means, like I said, it's almost like having two things going on with your sun, a dual sun sign, almost. So it's like push pull, left right. It's really the how would you call it? It's really having a dichotomy in your chart like that. You really see what the whole dynamics of polarity.
Yes, that's the statue you're talking about, and she's on an egg right there.
Uh-huh.
We actually just even had Easter, right? And it was the egg belongs to Mary Magdalene. Like, this has all been so tricky and twisted. It had nothing to do with Easter bunnies or any of that shenanigans. I don't even
By the
know.
way,
No.
never eat those tiny chocolate eggs that the Easter rabbit leaves. Never do that. They aren't really chocolate either.
Oh, lots of things aren't really what they look like.
My favorite conspiracy theory. Yeah.
Oh,
The Easter bunny doesn't really leave chocolate eggs, just so
no,
you know.
not at all. And
Oh, your cardinal fixed. Oh, you got a Leo moon. I'm yee, I'm trying to read all this. Yeah.
I've got 5 placements in Leo, actually. It's pretty fiery up in my chart.
She's by fire on the mountain.
And
Okay.
Gladys, actually, I remember I did her chart. I'm pretty sure she shifted back into gosh darn it, a Libra, which would make sense because she is actually a lawyer. She goes
Libra.
into school.
Libra.
That would be the woman with the scales.
I know. I'm like, well, isn't that interesting? Maybe we're all turning into what we actually are. I mean, maybe that's what the new age is going to be about, is the whole new time and everything is going to be about is I'm going to start to turn into, you're going to start to turn into that. I'm going to start to turn into this. We're going to start to turn into what we actually are.
Oh, yeah. Actually, the thing is, okay, me woman just asked. So is there something to have air, sun, and fire, moon? And the thing is, we are not just one sign. We are not just our sun sign. We are not just our moon sign. If you look at your entire chart and you put all the pieces together and the houses that they're in, like I just did Witch Moon's chart, like right before I did yours tonight. when I sent you that link, you gave me your info and I went and did your chart straight away. And I did Witch Moon's and Michelle's right before that. And so I'm kind of trying to help Witch Moon and Michelle learn their chart too and put the whole of it together. Oh, Michelle, I'm so sorry to hear that. Her son Nate is sick. Everybody, please keep Nate in your prayers. He's not.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. The energy's been pretty wild lately, so it could have something to do with that.
Yeah, and he's also autistic too, so he's probably really feeling stuff. And he's been fighting
Yeah.
off cold anyway. A
Oh
sinus.
dear. Did you get your Boswellia yet?
Me?
Because
No, I
yeah,
haven't.
anybody and Michelle needed it because it's really good for, especially for infections, for ear infections,
Yes. We've been
sinus
looking
infections and things.
at oregano oil and garlic, and I've been looking up even the mushrooms to help with Nate's digestive system, even. And into like chaga mushrooms and lion's mane mushrooms and cordyceps and those things. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah.
I hope puking might have made him feel better. Sometimes I feel a lot better after I just puke. Just go ahead
Right.
and let myself do it.
Well, my mother always said better out than in.
Yeah, that's what I always say too.
Yeah,
When it
that's
comes to
basically,
energy and keeping stuff inside, just get it out of there.
yeah. And you'll feel better once it's gone.
And I
So,
started doing prayers from Archangel Michael too, even before I came alive.
mhm.
I mean, Archangel Raphael, not Michael. You know, the two snakes on the Ophucius. Hey, Mass Outgrower, welcome. The two snakes on the caduceus, or the caduceus, however it is, um, it also corresponds with the male and female energy that are on the chakra chart. If you ever look at a chakra
Mhm.
chart, then the
Yep.
energies are even balanced. So there's, if we start learning like our entire, I just printed my charts off. And if you have a printer, or if you can even run to Walmart and email the one I sent you to yourself, you could print your chart off, and then that way you can have it physically. And what I did is wrote down my sun is in Aries, and then what I'm going to do now is write on my progressed, because
Now,
I
hang
went.
on, hang on. Just a moment. I have to answer a question here.
Okay.
Me woman, my email is right there under my name. Okay. Right there under my name. And you have me on, don't you have me on WhatsApp? Yeah. WhatsApp. On what? And hello, masshole grower. Masshole grower. Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry for interrupting you, but
It's
I
all
haven't
right.
seen you in a while and she's been going through some stuff. So I want to
Oh,
make sure I do get back in touch with her. Okay.
yeah, that's good. That's good.
And I want you back on too again, me woman, when you can do it. Okay. Because she's got a lot of interesting skills too. Girls got skills. Okay.
Oh, good. Good. I think
So,
this is so important with the 13 sign, because not only do we have 13 lunar cycles, but there are 13 menstrual cycles for a woman. And I think that every religion and the patriarchy along the way, even with the four founding fathers here in the United States of America, they have completely just removed the woman all the way around the world.
I'm sure
Uh,
it was to throw us off. I'm sure it was to throw everything off.
Absolutely, it was. You know, and whoever rewrote the Bible, like I studied the Bible actually. So I
I
studied
did
it in
too.
prison, and I started having a lot of questions to spirit while I was doing it, because a lot of things just really, my discernment was kicking in. And I was like, wait a minute, why is Apostle Paul saying to beware of women in the church? And women shouldn't be leaders. And so I really literally started asking Jesus at that time what really is going on. And Jesus has really been leading me down some amazing roads, I might say.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
it's
he
2019
is.
is when I opened up to Ophucius.
Okay. Mine was a little bit before that, but I didn't have very much. I couldn't find very much information about it at the time. It was all the way back, I think, in 2012 that I heard about the switch, but had no idea. I couldn't find hardly any information that made any sense to me about it, just a little bit. Since then, apparently people have been busy bringing it up again, bringing up the information on it. And the Mayans, I did have a Mayan teacher. The Mayans also had a 13 moon calendar. The Native Americans had a 13 moon calendar. It was obvious that 13 moons is the natural progression. I mean, it was obvious, you know, there are 13 moons in a year. That is just a plain fact. And the fact that it's got to give you some idea of what the point was when a religious institution, and they're the ones that are usually, that through history have usually changed stuff, they added an extra 1,000 years to the calendar, and they screwed around with the days as well. And I think an extra 100 days or something too.
I think the Romans added 5 days to each calendar, even 5 days a year. So it threw everything off.
Yeah, so just to throw everything off, there's got to be some reason they do that. They don't. You think they just wake up one day from, drinking too much wine, and too much of that wine from the mass, and they're like, oh, oh man, I gotta add 5 days to the count. Yeah, that'll fix it. Yeah, that'll fix everything if I add 5 days to it's just crazy, right? No, they had a reason for doing that. And it was probably to mess. I really think it's so confusing the way that the months are, especially with February being this tiny little month, and then some of them are 30 and some of them are 31. And, I really think that they had it somehow, some way planned out to where they could either get more interest from you or throw you off so that you wouldn't get things in on time, or it was probably to manipulate something. I don't think it was for any good reason. I think it was probably some kind of manipulation. Why would you throw off a calendar you wouldn't do that for just no good reason, There
Yeah.
had to be some kind of percentage in it, right?
And
Although
even
I don't.
now, honestly, I'm going to be wise with my words as Lady Spellbreaker here. I believe some of this is because the churches and the ones who are abusing the power, especially at this day and age and time, they are making the Bible come to life. And it much of the world is so fracking confused right now. They think God's doing this. And it's
No, and God, I got news. God didn't make hell either. That keeps, why would loving God send people that God never made hell? Never said that in the Bible. There's no mention of
and
God ever creating hell.
no, and in the conversation, as I started fasting and asking Spirit, God, whatever questions when I was in prison, books kept landing in my possession. Like literally, people would just come and hand me a book, and the answer would be in the book. And so I started reading Conversations with God, books by Donald Walsh, and he was raised a Catholic, so he had a lot of questions for God too. And
Oh, yeah, I bet.
he said that in the beginning was the matriarchy and the mother goddess, creator, mother, and that man invented the devil as fear to take over, because that was their only way. That the men were originally the ones who would help the women reproduce, and they were there to do the heavy lifting and the hard work and the building and things like that, and the women were in charge, and things were going really well, except for the less desired men were feeling some type of way, and some of them got this great idea to create this devil character. That's one of my first videos here on YouTube. Let's talk about this devil character. And I read that from Neil Donald Walsh's book, and it's really opened my eyes up to a whole lot of things. This
I
is
haven't read the
really
book, but I do understand that people have confused the devil with Satan, with Lucifer, with a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's all separate stuff, really. It's not really all the same thing. And nor, I mean, they can't even get, I mean, the people, the King James people drive me completely nuts that King James is the last and final word, and you can't read anything outside of King James. I have one word for them. I have one fact for them that I can prove without a shadow of a doubt could not have been anything but a translation, and that is Jesus. Because his name was Yeshua, the letter J never existed until the 14th century.
yes.
There is no J in the Hebrew. There's no J in Hebrew. They would never name their kid Jesus. They would never name their kid Hail Zeus. It wouldn't happen. No. Okay. No. His name would have been Yeshua. And we know that because he is a real historical figure. The Jews do have a history on him. The ascended masters accept him as an ascended master, and on and on and on. So, you know, really, there was really that guy really exists, and he really is an ascended master, and all that. But I'm just saying, you know, there's so many things that these religions came in. Actually, I gotta do one day, I'm gonna do about how the Catholic religion came in and just crushed all its rivals. It was the biggest war machine in the world. It was the evil empire at one time. Now these days, this is not Catholic people. They you know, the people who believe in the tenets that they're taught about Jesus being about love and etc. This is the corporate machine, the corporate Catholic machine came in and crushed all its competitors with, I mean, deadly force, actually, and changed everything to suit itself. And we lost a whole lot of knowledge because of them, because of the Crusades, because of the Inquisitions and stuff like that. And every single piece of torture device that you see, every single thing that was created by the Catholic Church, approved by a pope for nearly 600 years, to torture people who didn't agree with them. That is truth. That is just a simple truth. And if you are Catholic, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I don't hate you at all. I don't. And I don't blame you. You were never told all this. You never knew all this. Like the rest of us, you were kept ignorant.
And I'm very sorry. It's a very heavy spell, but that's why we're here to break that spell.
Exactly. I'm here to tell the truth. I'm not here to honeycoat things. I try to be gentle, but I'm going to tell the truth. That is the truth. And some people will not like it. Some people will hate you
like it. Some people don't like a lot of things, but it is what it is. And we can try to chill it gently, but like even people, you wouldn't believe how many people are so stamping their foot in the ground angry at me when I tell them, no, you're actually probably a Pisces. Like Scotty is asking about Aries, Scotty boy was. And so, so many people want to say dead set in their 12 sign astrology sun sign, and they don't even want to embrace their whole chart. They don't want to be their sun and their moon and their rising sign, because your rising sign is very important. Your midheaven sign is so important because that's your career. That's where you're going to make your impact into society. Your moon is your emotional self. That's your
Right.
sensitive side. That's the side you're going to show to people at home. That's related to your mother. We don't usually show that side to everyone. We usually are in our masculine energy or our rising sign, the way we come into the world. And Mercury really matters because that's the way we communicate with the world. If your Mercury is in Aries, you're going to communicate differently than if your Mercury is in Pisces. And when
That
Mercury,
way came in.
yeah,
That way. Hi, Lewis. Hello, Lewis.
I invited all my friends via text. I shared you on my community tab and
That's
everything.
fine. The more the merrier. I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
And
they
actually, I've got some mine
brought.
coming in I haven't seen in a while. So somehow the word got out to some people that normally didn't hit, that I haven't seen in a while. So this is great. Everything's great.
Okay,
Okay.
so Rebecca or Jackie, her name's Jackie. She was asking about the number 13. So here is, went and grabbed a couple links. Number. Because I do, you can't find a lot of information on 13 houses on an astrology wheel. I do 13 signs and 13 houses. That's why my name is Lady Spellbreaker 1313. Because I use 13. Like, they changed it originally to suit their 12-month calendar. Like, instead of making 12 months in the year, they just removed Ophucius. The sun actually only transits Scorpio for 7 days. The sun, the moon is in Scorpio for half a day. That's it, because it's such a small portion. Like, you can't pull this up on your chart. So it's kind of hard to see, actually. And my lighting is really terrible, so
Why do you have a dead chicken glass, Q
yeah,
Kravitz?
I'm gonna have to bury it. I mean, no, I'm not sure about a dead chicken. Her dog got her chicken. She just got her chickens, by the way. I'm, I
Oh
was,
no.
I was real sorry to hear about that.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm very
Well,
sorry about
Lewis,
that.
we're glad you're here. If it popped up in your suggestions, maybe you needed to learn about some astrology since it's eclipse season.
Yeah, Lewis used to come on all the time, but I haven't seen him too often lately. I know that my stuff doesn't, people say that they don't get their notes a lot of times. So, yeah, it's kind of difficult to, it's kind of difficult to know exactly why, people don't show up, but yeah, we've almost turned over, like usually Linda's here for almost everything and Gemini's here, and there are a few people and they're not here tonight for some reason. But they'll probably see it tomorrow. Like Gemini usually watches it the next day. So because she goes to sleep early now, has to go to sleep earlier because she, has to get up. But she reacted to my reaction that they were out of the coop. Oh, huh? What? Okay.
Oh gosh,
What's
yeah.
Oh, hmm. Oh, okay. 11:11, Michelle. All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna make everybody here that's here
Hi,
right now
fire starter. Hi,
a
fire starter. Fire starters here.
fire starter. I'm a firecracker. If anybody wants their 13 sign chart done, you have to send me an email and I'll do your chart for you for free. And I'll point you in the right direction for your sun, moon, rising, and where your Chiron placement is.
By golly, I can already tell we're going to have you on at least monthly.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to have you on at least monthly as a regular. I can already tell.
Well,
So, because you're full of it. I mean, you're full of information. I'm full of it, but I'm full of
I'll tell you what happened, Dee. I went to a Native American ayahuasca retreat back in 2018, right before the 11/11/2018 portal, November. I went October 20th. And I think that I feel like I'm speaking alien language to people sometimes because it feels like there is this stream of higher conscious information coming in. And sometimes it's hard because I understand it's a lot for new people. And they're like, whoa, sometimes, and then they have a lot of questions. And so I can give links faster than anybody could even click them all, and then just go at your own pace. Take it in.
Sounds like you could be a super mod then.
Thank you.
Super mod. Okay.
And I'm very grateful that you had me on here actually, and I'm so glad you just said that about the Mayans and the 13 galactic tones, because I just shared those links for Mayan magics. And people could even, it was one of the shamans that gave me that link back in 2018. And if you scroll down just a little bit, you can calculate your Mayan date on this Mayan magic right here. And it says enter your date of birth down at the bottom. And you can find out your galactic tones. So it might really look, people might be like, feel like their head, you sent me that emoji, D. The head was exploding. By the time I'm done, they might say, oh my gosh, whoa. But the thing is, if you just go back and listen to it slowly and click on the links and go at your pace, then it's easier to handle.
Yeah, it's well, yeah, because I was trying to read it really quick, and then I realized all of a sudden, oh my God, I don't have the notice out yet for the show tonight. And I don't even have a subject yet. I haven't even finalized the subject. I had a couple things in mind, and actually I was really thinking of discussing some of the crazy stuff that's coming, but it's like, and then I'm like, well, hey, might as well ask, it's like, you want to come on.
I know.
Just looked like the right thing to do.
Your chart, and you were like, you want to come on the show? And I was like, tonight?
Yeah. Thanks for being ready to do that. I mean, a lot of times people are, I don't know if I'm quite ready to. It's like, you're just like, yeah. Well, that's Aries, though. That's an Aries thing.
That's Aries. And my
Yeah,
Chiron.
I got Aries rising. When that gets activated, and it has been lately, I'm feeling that Aries, fire. And when that gets activated, I'm very like I just jump right into things.
I'm
Yep.
looking to see what you got in Aries. In your 13 sun chart, you're a Pisces ascendant. But your north,
really,
your north, your south node is in Aries. Let me see what else you got. Fire.
in the progressed.
No, let me go look at the progress
Because
chart.
my original was Aries with rising. I've been.
Oh, your progress chart's on that phone. I have two phones. And I don't have your progress chart. I screenshot it on here. I could pull it up, but I'm trying to see what else. Your birth chart midheaven is a Sagittarius, which is still a very powerful fire sign. And your Mercury's in Sagittarius, so that would be the way you communicate. Fire, fire.
Fire, 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 fire. Next, I'll need TP for my bunghole, right?
And your Pluto
Beavis and Butthead.
in Leo TP for your bunghole.
Fire, fire.
Well, with your south lunar node, is in, about the lunar nodes, Rahu and Ketu? Because they do karmic cycles and this is a lot of here's how to interpret the north and south nodes and what they mean, the lunar nodes. They're relative parts in the sky, actually.
I'm so sorry about your chicken. Poor little chicken.
She was so excited about that
Poor little Aunt Kate.
Okay,
that's too bad.
The north lunar node is your destiny and karmic path. And so the north node looks like on your chart a horseshoe, upright, to where the 2 points are at the bottom.
James Ortiz, to answer that, I can't do it from this end. You have to do that from your end. You can turn that on in YouTube. You can turn captions on in YouTube.
Turned on from the YouTube studio. That's the only way. Yeah, you would have to.
I can't get there right now because all I've only got is one phone left. I don't even have. I used to be able to do things also on my tablet, but my tablet died too. My computer, my tablet, all I have left is my phone. If it goes, you're not going to see me for a while, which is why I'm going to have to get a laptop or something very quickly. Because my, I don't know how this is all going to work out, but it will work out somehow.
Okay. Yeah, it is. You can only turn it on from the from YouTube studio from a computer. And so I'm sorry, James. And I'm real sorry Scotty Boy is still coming to terms that he's a Pisces.
Hey, Rebecca. How you doing, Rebecca Broom? What a great name, Rebecca Broom. Sounds like a good name for a witch, doesn't it?
That is a good
Rebecca
name.
Broom. My name is Rebecca Broom. And yeah, sounds like you should be like trying to catch a golden snitch or something. That's really cool.
Your south node is your innate gifts in your past life, and that is in Aries on your birth chart.
Okay, wait a minute. What? I didn't hear that very well.
South node looks like a horseshoe on your birth chart. I just looked at it on your natal chart at your time of birth. Your south node, I just shared the link for that, is in Aries.
What's
That's
my
my
chart?
Aries, yeah. And that
Holy cow. So
relates
everybody's going to know my birth chart now?
not your whole
Okay.
I didn't tell them all your secrets.
Okay, I don't know. Don't tell an Ophucius that. You know about us. Don't share all my secrets. Oh, don't reveal all my secrets.
Scotty, that will be shifting all your signs. What it does is it typically shifts everyone back a sign, but not everyone goes. So because it goes by the sign of the constellations. Pisces is one of the largest signs, as well as Leo and Virgo and Taurus. Those are the largest signs. So some people stayed in their sun sign. My daughter, Kayla, rest her soul in peace. She was a tropical Leo on August 19th, but she also stayed a Leo in 13 sign because the sun enters Leo on August 10th in 13 sign astrology. So she stayed a Leo in Vedic India astrology in tropical, and certain people did stay. It just depends what day it falls on. But since Scotty Boy is would you say April 1st? You are a Pisces because the sun is actually just shifted into Aries. Right now is our eclipse, actually. Right now. The eclipse is actually at 23:12, so 11:12 p.m. Central Standard Time, my time tonight.
You mean it's happening now?
Yeah, over in Australia.
Oh
Like
my gosh, we're doing this right on it. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
that's what I really thought. This is our dark side of the moon, new moon eclipse reading. New moon eclipse chat, I mean.
Our new moon, our first our first new moon reading. Maybe we'll have maybe we'll kind of have that. Maybe we'll kind of have on either the close to the new or the full moon, or maybe both. We'll have some kind of astrology thing, too. So because on the moon day I have tarot on a moon day near the full moon, but we can also have a day that kind of is set aside for astrology too, when the moon when the full moon or the new moon is coming. And especially when something like this is coming, when a big thing like this is coming. Can you give us?
I'm feeling this. This is the reading I did. That's my channel. If anybody, I don't actually usually do a lot of stuff promotion, but I did just do that reading. If anybody wants to check it out later, because I'm reading a lot about what energy is actually going on, and I'm teaching. I just got these astrology arcana, the arcana of astrology cards. And so I'm walking through the houses and what each house means with these cards. And I write about Mercury since Mercury's going retrograde. I actually pull the cards out with what's going on in the skies. Yeah, that's why you're barking at the moon, Scotty.
Yep, that's exactly why, Scotty. Firestarter says, when is the eclipse? I think we just said that.
Right at 11. Well, Central Time, it's at 11:12 p.m. So almost 11:11 by a minute.
And I'm Eastern Time, so it's 11:26 right now for me.
So it would be 12:12 your time. Oh,
So, okay, that's about a half an hour away. Well, yeah, a
12
little more
minutes
than a half
into
hour.
420 is your eclipse time. 12:12.
Well, for a lot of people here, 420 is going to be an eclipse anyway, right?
Well,
By
12
by
is Ophucius portal. Yeah, it's only viewable in Australia. Road Trip Eddie's right. You're absolutely right. It's only visible. And it's a solar eclipse. So we can't see the sun right now.
because
And we
it's
probably can't see the moon since we can't see the sun and they're eclipsing.
right. You know, that happens in Ohio all the time. We miss all of the fun stuff because Ohio is in the sky because Ohio is very cloudy all the time.
Oh gosh, yeah. I
We're
know that
very wet. We're a
one
wetland.
blood moon that we had not long ago, I had to go out in the freezing cold and wait for the clouds to part, and it had to be to like a divine time just to catch a glimpse of that blood moon. And I was like, I got it on camera too. I was real happy about that.
Well, wait a minute. It's a dark moon, isn't it? You wouldn't be able to see it anyway, would you?
No, because it's with the sun, and the sun is visible in
Right,
Australia at this hour. Yeah, so
right,
see it, but we can feel it. You see, it's like the
right. But we can feel it, that's for sure. Yes,
you
that's for
okay.
sure.
Mercury is going direct on four. I mean, Mercury's already in the pre-shadow, and this energy's
Yep.
been going on for a couple of weeks. Here's Mercury retrograde information.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
Pluto is going into its pre-shadow right now because it's going retrograde on May the 1st. So if people are feeling intense, this is why, my friends. There's a lot of shifting going on. Holy shifting. Okay, this is Mercury retrograde information.
Rebecca says she thinks time began in the last 120 years. Well, you never know. There might have been another reset much closer than we thought. It might not have been that long ago. Some people have that theory. So, as long as we thought. So that's not, and I'm not yawning. I swear, I'm not yawning because I'm falling asleep or anything. I frequently yawn during the show, and I don't know why. It just seems like it always happens, and it seems like I need more air when I do the show for some reason. I just need to take in a whole bunch of air. Which is another reason I do those darn breathing exercises is for myself too, sometimes, because honestly, I mean, when I do them here, I'm doing them to keep me on track too, so that I can it helps me get through the show. I don't know why it takes so many, but it does. I can feel when I do this show, it takes energy to do it. It's like there is energy radiating out. It's not. I'm trying to make it universal energy, not mine, but yeah, I need to definitely I find I need to remind myself to breathe a lot of times while I'm doing this show, and I haven't entirely figured it out yet. But anyway, sorry about that. I don't know
Okay.
why I felt you're
It's
you're very interesting, is what I'm trying to say, and so it's not because of that, okay?
no, well, I think that when we come live, we're also even transmuting because every person is energy. Every comment that comes into the chat room, everything is energy. And I honestly have found it can be emotionally, mentally, spiritually, energetically exhausting. Because it's especially while we're empaths and highly intuitive people take on other people's energy, and we have to be able to transmute a lot. That's really what I'm learning.
You're a fairy folk, and I'll tell you how I know is because all of us do it. We put up Christmas lights all over our place, even when it's not Christmas.
These have been up for 2 years,
We
and I
all
do
do it.
that all the time.
We all do it. The only reason there aren't any in the bedroom right now is I've been too damn lazy to hang them. I didn't move here that long ago. So, and as soon as I get a chance, there'll be some in here too. And we all love to put lights up. For some reason, we love to have little, and usually they are blue or purple or something. Yeah, we all put
Yeah. And
little lights
I'm
up in them.
really even like, honestly, when I'm sitting in my room, I've been suffering a lot of headaches. And so I keep it low like this. Like, you can't really see me really well, but this is how I lay in my bed. I've got 2 pink Himalayan salt lights, one over here, and they're turned low. And, even white backgrounds, I've got everything on dark mode. My whole YouTube is black. My whole everything is black. My whatever all this is, Microsoft Edge, all of it is a dark background because it's easier to see. It's easier on the eyes to not have to strain so much with a white background and black print. It's easier on our eyes to digest when it's a black background with white words or different colored words or whatever.
I just had my little cat cowboy here. He just reached up and grabbed me on the shoulder. I was not petting him while I was listening to you.
Oh man, yeah.
I had to start petting him in order for him to come to. What did you want to say? Did you want to be on again? Is that what was up, or did you just need some pets?
He said he's feeling this eclipse too.
He is feeling it. He has been kind of weird. He's been really, he's an older cat and he's been frisking around like a young kitten, so he's feeling something. I wonder what sign he is. I have no idea because he's a rescue, but
Oh, so you don't know his birthday?
I have no idea what his birthday is, but I wonder sometimes. He has a lot of personality, though. Let me tell you, he has a
Scott,
lot of personality.
Scotty probably has some fire in his chart. Scotty, I'll do your chart for you. You just never sent me an email. And if you did, I didn't get it. So let me give you my email one more time. You said you wanted it when I was on the Milky Way Soul Tribe channel. And somehow the chat just disappeared. That's real crazy. It just vanished into thin air. The strangest things just keep happening, and I just keep looking at my screen in shock. I think there are some serious mental games going on, and I just am just like,
I think so too. I think, see, my channel's had weird stuff happen most of the time. Most of the time I've been on it, I've had odd things happen on my channel. So I don't know why. I don't know. Sometimes I would think they were a hacker. Sometimes I would think they were, um, you know, but really, frankly, I'm not geeky enough to know what could be done, and how. So, or if it's just some, phenomena, because I also have had phenomena happen during a show. And I actually had, and that's another thing, the Ophucius thing came up, and they were talking something, and I didn't get to read it, but it said something about Anubis. What is it? Do you know what Anubis has got to do with this whole thing? He's
and Egypt.
Yeah, because Anubis actually showed up during a show one time in my living room.
Oh wow!
I mean, in my kitchen.
He's
Yeah.
Graves. I just looked
What?
it up. Yeah. The protector of graves, the god of funerary rites, and the guide to the underworld. That's really funny because Pluto rules the underworld. Pluto's about to go retrograde, and my Pluto is in the 9th house. Ross
So,
always out when she read my chart.
I absolutely believe in that Anubis is real because he showed right up. He showed up and we spoke to him. So it's like, and he was looking for Mari. He was looking for Mari Elena, who was in the chat at the time. He was looking for her, and now they're speaking. She didn't realize until that show that he had been wanting to communicate with her. Yeah, so I have weird stuff happen on this show. Like, it's just normal. So if you do, and like I said, Emmett was seeing me time travel, and I mean, we've had bunches of stuff happen on the show. So it could be, or if somebody, oh, Linda, I'm so glad you made it. Yeah, Linda finally made it. That's nice. Yeah, so if you see something weird happen on the show, it could be that because YouTube is screwing around with me, or it could be we have phenomena. I never know.
Sometimes I think it might be a divine intervention when we're trying to do things out of our ego. Hello, Linda Bennett. Maybe sometimes.
Oh yeah, Dr. Virtual 7. Yeah, yes. One of my favorites.
Yep. That's really good ones. And one of my channelers that I listen to suggests Dr. Virtual. I've been listening to the nine frequencies on a black screen while I'm sleeping because I don't like the bright lights in my eyeballs at all.
I don't either.
I'm a real low light kind of. I really went darker and darker after. I was just telling Witchman that the other day. I'm really embracing the darkness a lot. If you go and look at my videos that I started in 2019, I was all positive and love and light. Everything was all love, love, love. And I have really gone to embrace all parts, especially the dark beings. It's even the dark side of the moon right this very second. Since my daughter passed away, realizing that life isn't all about light. It's like I've gone, and I was suffering migraine headaches. That's really why I've gone like this. So
I used to have migraines. I don't have migraines anymore, fortunately.
I haven't had them since I did yoga. I'm glad you don't have them anymore either.
I have managed to get rid of. I think I'm out of that now. I think I'm beyond them now, because it's been long enough. Unless it surprises me or something. Yeah, I haven't had them in a while. Thank goodness, because they're very. Oh yeah, they can be very debilitating. My dad had them. Hey, there we go. Hey, Dad. If you're here, hi. You might be here, listening. He was into all this kind of stuff. He had Fate magazines under his bed instead of porn magazines. I know, because I looked through. But yeah. So I want to get a little bit on the subject of how do you think this eclipse is going to be affecting the world at large. I mean, we've got some really titanic things going on. Of course, you know, here in my country, in the country of the United States, we've got a lot of drama. I mean, we've got drama, 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 and we've also got Pluto going through the chart of the US, which means that things are going to be rooted up and brought to light. And there are going to be indictments, and there are going to be, you know, there's going to be a lot of overturned apple carts, is what I see.
Yeah, that's I just told Pluto to bring it on. Bring it on.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Pluto rules the underworld, death, endings, which also means new beginnings. So Pluto rules the ninth house. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. And I just looked, and Pluto is also the ruler of Ophucius, because Ophucius is so. Ophucius is sitting between Scorpio and Sagittarius. So it makes sense that Jupiter rules Ophiuchus and Sagittarius, and Pluto rules Ophiuchus and Scorpio. So Capricorn is the devil card in the tarot deck. And it is ruled by Saturn in the modern day ways, which the devil card represents addictions and especially materialism in my tarot deck that I have. So I have a feeling that people who put money first, and I'm not talking about all of us who are trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, us that are just making it in this world. I'm talking about elites that are money hoarders and greedy, and they have, like Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon. He
And the
actually
Walmart Waltons who won't pay their employees, but they're
dollars during this pandemic. Amazon has raked in $24 billion. I'm talking, I think that a lot of these people are going to be getting a reality check, as well as not. I'm talking about with Pluto retrograde, and this is probably going to be starting to happen like very soon, because Pluto is like in the pre-shadow, as the Mercury is going retrograde right now. Pluto's in the pre-shadow, getting ready to do its thing, right in Capricorn. As a matter of fact, let me pull up a chart for today right now and look.
yeah, because we're right on it. We got to talk about this. This is something we've got to
and
address.
Rockstar literally said we are going to need to be outside during this time. We are going to want to be. This is Pluto's transit into Capricorn right here. Pluto in Capricorn. It's a 2-hour video, so just watch it in spare time.
Okay.
Whenever you want to know what's going on in the skies. And here is this new moon solar eclipse information.
Wonderful. Okay, so we're gonna be able to have that now too. So we're gonna be able to have some input on that. And to me, since I've got the progressed Capricorn thing going on, this is going to be a big one for me. So to me, this is like, wow, I feel like something big is going on. When I do my cards, it looks like something big is going to happen with me too. And I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure whether it has something to do with the show or has something to do with some other part of my life. But I think that when it's all said and done, there may be some times in between where we're going to have to maybe hunker down and realize that the supply chain might not be the way it's always been, or we might lose power or internet or something for a little while. But I think at some point during the switchover, but I think they're doing their best to make things work out so that people don't suffer too much, good guys. Because it seems like finally we're seeing the collapse of so many things that have been, some of us have been just waiting so long. We've just been going nuts waiting for this. We're so over all this crap, you know?
We've been waiting for this moment all our life. Oh, Lord. They did write a song about it.
Right. Oh, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? But yeah, we have been really waiting and waiting for this, and we're told it's going to come. And, it's like, oh, geez, well, when? Well, and then they keep giving us dates, and it's like, no, it never, no, it's not happening. But I had a feeling, and I'm right this time, but I'm right a lot. I've been right about most things. I really am. But I'm like, no, this year's going to be different because I really feel different. I mean, it's been brewing, but this year, a lot of stuff's going to fall. A lot of things are going to fall. And I think not just for the United States, but all over the earth. We're going to see a lot of bullshit fall. And this is the start.
So too. I'm waiting for a lot of stuff to fall. As a matter of fact, I've been watching. I've been waiting and I've been watching. I've been watching the floods come in California, flashing out Hollywood and Ellen DeGeneres' neighborhood. And who else lives in her neighborhood? Oh, the princes, Harry and Meghan. They live right in the same street as Ellen DeGeneres. I've just been watching. I've been watching whole sides fall into the ocean. I've been watching it. I've been waiting. I've been watching. And I have a feeling that the divine is so divine that it's going to happen to the people that it needs to happen to. And the people who aren't going to, those tornadoes just might skip right over their town. They're not going to hit who's doing the right thing. So,
yep, absolutely.
If the people are being unrighteous liars, like I'm honest in my feelings about Donald J. Trump, and he's paid off some porn star $30,000 in hush money. That's what a good, upstanding, righteous Christian man does, right? So, I wasn't fooled by any of these politicians at all. I didn't fall for any of these shenanigans. And I think they all need to go to jail, and they all need to start taking accountability for every single life lost during this pandemic. It's all narcissistic abuse of power and control. I own books on this. And my feelings were like, if all the Christians were praying for Donald to win and Donald to get in office, and he was such a righteous, holy Christian man, don't you think God would have made sure he was in office? I'm really been waiting. I'm going to keep on watching. I'm going to keep on watching. And I'm going to sit back and give me some freaking popcorn.
Mm-hmm. Well, I really have to say that what I can tell you, I say we cannot put our money on anybody. We can't put all our hopes on any one person.
Don't put them on Donald or Joe.
But, unfortunately, I don't feel the same way about Trump. I think he's better than what we've got, because what we've got is a crime family syndicate and actually hush money to a porn star. And then they found, and she admitted it didn't even happen. It didn't even really happen. Nothing really happened. It's just they extort rich people all the time, and it's just easier to pay them off. He didn't use election money to do that, so there is no crime. So this is just an attempt to keep him from running, basically. And I believe in a fair election, he should be allowed to run just like anybody else. I mean,
all corrupt. I think they just stop it.
I think they get corrupt. If they're not corrupt when they start, they sure are by the time they finish.
Yeah, it's all corrupt. If all of them started like in a court of law, I've been to court. I've put my hand up. When you go to court, I've been to prison. It's called the Department of Corrections here in America. You go there and you get to think about what you did. You do not get smartphones. You don't get computers. You can write letters home to your family, and you can get books, or you can sit around and watch Jerry Springer all day, like a lot of people did do. You get a choice whether you're going to work on yourself or not, and whether you want to make changes or not, and whether you're going to start being honest. If you're unruly and you misbehave and you do things like storm Capitol Hill, they'll go put you in segregation. You get a timeout in prison, and you get to go think about your behaviors. When you don't get your way, there are correctional officers there, and they are there to correct you. When you are causing chaos in America and people are dying left and right during Operation
You mean like during the Black Lives Matter type stuff where they were burning down churches and stuff all over Washington?
All of it. All of it is corruption and chaos in America.
And then nobody went to jail for that. Nobody, nothing happened.
You put your right hand up when you go to court. Right? They sometimes make you put your hand on the Bible, and you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. If all of these politicians would stop every single lie, everything would stop. They would stop abusing power and control. People would not be dying left and right because of all this fear, confusion, and chaos in the media. The media alone is driving people crazy, turning against each other. I do not follow Donald or Joe.
I believe the media is really is mind control. I haven't had a TV. I haven't watched TV. I don't care what Meghan and Harry are doing. I don't give a damn about that. I'm sorry, I didn't give a damn about the Queen of England passing. That's too bad. I'm sorry. Maybe that was real emotional for them, but I don't care. I don't care about any of the people living in Hollywood that are doing all the crazy shit that they're doing.
It's a waste of
I don't care about any of these people. I don't care about TV. I don't want to be programmed. I won't watch programs. I feel that they're programming people.
That's been the hardest thing I've had to put my foot down this whole time, is being swayed by people who are deep into the politics, because I don't care. Phil Collins wrote a song about that one too. He said, I don't care anymore. My daughter died during this pandemic. While these hate crimes against the LGBT community, she was transgender. This stuff exposing child trafficking and things like that triggered sex abuse survivors. They had no mercy and no care for any trauma survivors. They did not save people during this mission. People died left and right in 2020 and all the way through this whole Saturn and Capricorn pandemic. While everybody's going crazy, screaming and dividing America. There's people who wanted to vote for Donald Trump in other countries. They can't even vote for Donald Trump, okay? So, but they're
however, if they illegally immigrate here, there are states that want to let them vote.
Yeah.
And if they illegally immigrate through our open borders that Joe made sure are wide open. Yeah, crazy old nutcase. I'm sorry. Child sniffing spud. Now, am I being unkind? Am I being too Ophucius? But I cannot stand looking at him anymore. He is that evil. They found 9 more members of his family that were getting paid off by China, Russia, and the Ukraine. Okay?
Yeah.
You're not hearing much about that.
It's
all fucking dirty. Every one of them. They all need to be thrown in jail. If it were any of us, we would have been in jail years ago. Anybody out here, we would have all been in jail years ago.
Yeah. You know where people go, murderers? They go to prison. They deserve to go to prison. One of the best laws in the threefold law through all of my witches' oracles, we end with harm to none. Blessed be, and so it is. With harm to none.
Right.
The thing
See,
is,
that's just it, is the whole pandemic thing was really, I think, if I'm being honest, and this kind of thing could get my channel in trouble. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only, people. And, you know, we're making fun of things here. This is just farce and whatever.
yeah.
But frankly, the way I feel about it is that this was to kill people.
Exactly.
This wasn't a chance to kill people, take power, make us give up our rights. And then the experiment that they also offered to help this, instead of a cure, because they kept ignoring cures. And I don't care who suggested, if it works, it should be considered. Hydroxychloroquine, they cured everybody in Haiti with hydroxychloroquine. Ivermectin was another one that works, and they called it horse paste. But it works. All these things were cures, but they didn't want to let you have the cure. They wanted you to take the experiment. And to me, okay, and who got rich? Look who got rich from it. Bill Gates.
Yep.
The Gates Foundation, his wife left him because he was a friend of Epstein's. That's one of the reasons she cited for leaving him. He was too good of friends with Epstein. And people treat him like he's some kind of genius and some kind of god. I hate to tell you, but you're worshiping the wrong damn gods, okay? I mean, all of these people, they need to get their justice, or they need justice. They need justice. So what I ask for is, and I intend, is justice. Not to go after any one person or any one thing or any one idea, but just justice. You know, the balance, the truth for these people. That, and we don't even know, I don't think we've seen the end of it yet. I don't think we've seen all of them yet. I think there's more to come out. I think there's a lot more that's going to come out yet.
You got it. This next full moon is in Libra, as a matter of fact, thinking of justice and scales and balance with Pluto in retrograde. Let me see when the next full moon is actually. Hold on, let me get my handy dandy chart, raw star Sammy.
See, I don't mind. I really don't mind if people disagree with me, as long as we have some kind of respect for each other. I know somebody who actually blocked me for disagreeing with me.
May the 5th, 5/5 portal.
Mike, if you block me for disagreeing with you, well,
the thing is, everybody's going to have their own beliefs, but really what this is coming down to is this was an agenda for deep out.
It was.
And people are dying left and right from addictions because they can't.
And they're dying from the freaking, there are more people. You know what? The insurance, ever since the experiment has been rolled out, the insurance companies are having to pay out more, and they're having to adjust their policies for people who took the schmacks, because ever since then, people have been dying mysteriously in much higher numbers than ever before.
Strokes,
not from
seizures, blood clots, heart explosions. Yeah. I truly think that a part of me feels like even my daughter's soul, because she picked out a Life on Mars tapestry that's hanging above my bed right now. She left this world on 9/9, which is completion. 9/9/2020, 2 double numbers, 3 weeks after she turned 22 years old.
That's amazing, though. The numerology of that is really amazing.
And it was Mars retrograde. So that's a sign for me to step up into my power. I'm a Scorpio midheaven, ruled by Mars and Pluto, and I'm an Aries sun. So that is telling me that I do need to be severe in several ways, that my anger is righteous and justified. My goal is to teach people with trauma, breath work, like you're doing, yoga, and meditation, getting outside off these electronics,
Meditation.
and get away from these effing politicians and all this media that it is
And
into trying to
get the
drive.
shit out of our subconscious mind, because we have been programmed with so much crap in our iceberg down in the bottom that we can't see of our iceberg. That's also what I'm working on, is melting that crap out of our iceberg, because honest to God, we have so much crap in our heads that ain't true about history, about life, about our politicians, about religion, about everything. We've been poisoned in every freaking conceivable way, mentally, physically, and emotionally. This is a toxic place, and we have had to survive. And so pat yourself on the back if you did survive. It's been very hard. And I gotta say, I am sorry that your daughter, I think we have, I think most of, I think I can say for most people that most people do not have anything really, they don't mind if you're trans or whatever you are, as you know, you almost have to be, how can I say, you have to get up in my business before I get upset about things. You can do anything you want on your own time in your own life. And for me, that's okay as long as you're not harming anybody. But it's like when you're trying to force me into something, into a position. I have nothing against trans people, though. I have known so many of them. I've known many. I have known so many people in the alphabet community. But there are people now, even in the alphabet community, decrying wokeism, because wokeism is taking it all too far.
Yeah.
But, you know, they take it so far that that the people who are just normal people trying to get by, who are in this situation, now people are getting sick of the whole thing and maybe suspecting them.
Yep.
You know, it's
yep. The thing is, like, with, okay, the people who are pushing all of this information in people's ears and eyes with child trafficking and things like that, they honestly, until somebody really wakes their ass up and lets them know what they've done to every sex abuse survivor, I speak up for that loudly.
okay, I'm not sure I understand that part exactly. I mean, you're saying that somehow harmed us, that bringing up the subject of child trafficking somehow harms a sex abuse survivor.
Forcing
I would like to
people
know.
to remember things is not the right way to do it. A skilled psychologist would never do that. They would actually stop talking about things the moment they saw somebody getting upset.
Oh, well, but you
Somebody's
know, how do we ever bring it up to the public to tell them about it then? Shouldn't they know what's happening?
some things, I actually had to learn a lot of things differently. My daughter was driven over the edge. She was a child sex abuse survivor. Her father's family are still missionaries in Costa Rica preaching. So they are they are in the church. I have this actually, yes, Gladys, but there's different ways to go about things. There's a way to have a heart. This is actually within the tree of life right here. Jupiter's on one side, and Mars is over here.
Scotty's right.
mercy and severity. So when we say mercy, mercy, if we see that someone is being pushed too far, that is one reason I've said in some of my trauma videos, if anybody is so uncomfortable, click off. If it's
Oh, me too. If I'm bothering you, there are other channels. Please go ahead.
there's certain things that get me shaking. And if somebody was forcing this stuff, this is honestly why I quit to I don't go to the news feeds in Twitter because it's a bunch of political garbage, if you ask me. And I've got my dear daughter was in a psychosis in 2020. I could not protect her. I was thanking God every time she lost her phone because she couldn't get to the news feeds. Every time she got locked out of her Facebook because she had her passwords on her phone, she would lose it. God was protecting her because I couldn't protect her from watching the Jeffrey Epstein documentary on Netflix in her room. She watched all of that stuff because she was a child sex abuse survivor. She wanted to know things, but she was in a psychosis. It was pushed too far. There's got to be a stopping point. People have to know when enough is enough. And
Well, see,
something,
that's why I go on YouTube instead, is because I can hear just as much as I want and then turn it off when I'm done.
yeah,
Like,
yes,
okay, I've had enough now.
yes.
And you've got to know when enough is enough. And you know what? I think part of it, and I'm getting this, and I'm sorry, I don't mean this is absolutely no disrespect, but the same thing that made her an addictive type is the same thing that made her addictive to listening to all that news. It
Yeah,
was an addiction thing,
yeah. It's an
unfortunately.
addiction. And so
Yeah.
what some people think everybody needs to know is only their perception. Like, I think, honestly, Michelle's son is oblivious to everything going on in this world. And I think that's Spirit's way of protecting some people. They don't need to know. There is a little slogan, a saying, a quote called ignorance is bliss. The people who don't know, they're living their lives. They're being happy. They don't want to know. They don't need to know. So just because some people think everybody needs to know doesn't mean that everybody needs to know. Some people don't want to know.
But
Drama.
I want to know. I mean, I want to tell me what's happening in the world. I don't want to be ignorant.
Well,
because if I was ignorant, I wouldn't be hearing, because they're already keeping enough from us. They're keeping all kinds of things. Like they're not telling us enough about what happened to Biden.
I saw enough. I don't want to know the rest. I believe
Well, I don't know about the child abuse thing. I don't watch stuff like that either too much. I'll hear about it and I won't watch it though. I mean, but it's a choice whether to watch it or not. They're going to use, okay, just this is what the media does, and I hate it. I hate it as much as everybody else does. They'll use the most spectacular thing they can, the most emotion jerking thing that they can, and they will just run that into the ground. They will run with it, run it into the ground, into the freaking ground, to get views.
One person starts off with, oh my God, did you hear what's happening to the children? And then the next person adds a little bit more to it. And then the next person, and they're like, people were sending me so many links that honestly, I look at only 2 people have my phone number on my real phone. I don't give it to anybody else. Everybody else has this other phone that's usually turned off. And when people just keep sending me links with all this conspiracy information on graphic, horrible. It's like I'm in a horror film right now. Graphic details of stuff happening to children. And I'm a great
No,
mother
no,
whose
I don't
daughter,
watch that. I
no,
won't watch
no,
that.
I don't want the websites. I don't want to know all the graphic details. I've heard enough, and it's actually makes it's so triggering that
I
the things
refuse that stuff
people
too.
put
I
me.
refuse it outright.
I was having
Mhm.
migraine headaches and puking.
Mhm.
So think people think that's necessary.
No, no, that should not be. And that,
Oh,
but see, that is not the same as somebody just saying, hey, this is happening and we need to take care of it. We need to stop it. We need to know that, but we don't need to know all the gravity. You know what? This reminds me of the lady who was talking about her daughter and
that
how
must
she
have
was
been
hit by
smoke.
how she was hit by a driver and the driver just kept going and all of the details and everything about it, and she was very bereaved still, and she wanted to show me pictures, and I'm like, I can't see the pictures. I don't want to see the pictures. I don't. She was surprised I didn't want to see all of the pictures of what her daughter looked like after that and everything. And there's no disrespect here, but I am too gentle-hearted to look at that. I
Yeah,
knew it would never be a good first responder. I would not be able to do that. Okay. I would not have the heart to be a good first responder, and I know that. So please don't show me this stuff. And I tell people that, and I just will tell them right out, and I would just tell them, if you send me a link, I won't click it. I'm not going to watch it, honey. It's just not going to happen.
that's
Because,
how. Yeah,
yeah,
I can't go to the grieving mothers groups on. I don't hardly use my social media and go through the news feeds ever because it's just too. I'm too sensitive, too empathic, and I'm also 2 years into my grief. I'm gonna have my third Mother's Day without my daughter coming up. We have a bereaved Mother's Day the Sunday before Mother's Day for all of the mothers who have lost their child. We take a moment on the first Sunday in May, which will be May the 7th, right after the full moon, actually, because the full moon is on Friday, the May the 5th in Libra. And so bereaved Mother's Day is May 7th, where we all think about the mothers that have lost their child. But I can't literally go to those groups because I understand that some mothers have had babies that are stillborn and that's their only photo they have. But I don't want to look at dead children.
actually, my mother was one of them. She
I
had
don't
a stillborn.
look
My
at my
brother was stillborn.
own dead child. I'm very sorry to hear that. It's almost too yeah, it is dark design, Michelle. I
But
quit smoking almost a year ago, and I quit smoking Mary Jane. And honestly, even just talking about this is making me real antsy. Like I want to go smoke, and that's not good.
Gladys, and I don't want you to think that I blame you for that. I don't approve of anything being done to our children. I don't approve. I'm sorry. Now, there is a difference to me. There is a difference between uh this is the one that upsets me when I see it, okay? Is there's a difference between just being trans, gay, whatever, alphabet, whatever, and being a groomer. Okay, there's a difference between that. I don't want to see the people that want our kids, that are coming for our kids. They got enough to deal with. I don't want to see porn on on the agenda for our kids. I don't want we I think most of us draw the line at our children. We don't want them to be harmed. We don't want them to be left out of anything either, but we don't want them to be indoctrinated by people who are absolutely meaning evil to them, who are absolutely trying to get them into a state of mind where maybe they would accept the wrong kind of advances and be one of those victims that we're talking about here. I mean, that is an issue that most people are going to they're going to die on that hill, honey, is that they do not want any of this grooming literature in schools. They don't want inclusive is one thing. That's a whole different story, though. That's a whole different ballpark there. And I know people that are very triggered by that. I know I am. I cannot watch too much about that. I mean, it's all I can do to get through the shorts when I see that. You know, when I see something like a Jeffrey Marsh, he gives me the creeps. I mean, every time somebody brings that character up, it's like, oh my God, he's creepy. But this is not really anybody you want representing you. I mean, the decent trans community doesn't want him representing them at all, but people get the wrong idea. I mean, and they do that with everything. Everything that's decent, everything that's a thing that should just be a normal thing, they have to blow it out of proportion. They have to make it crazy clown world bullshit out of everything. Everything. That drives me up a wall. It drives me up a wall. Nobody would be getting hurt if people didn't make everything, blow up everything to such a ridiculous level that it's crazy. I mean, there's this kind of, it's the racial thing too, the BLM riots, and they really blew that up. Nobody's feeling, most Black people do not feel, there are a lot of Black people now saying, I don't feel underprivileged. I'm doing fine. There's a lot of mixed race couples. There's a lot of, there are people, there are gay people getting married now, and people are accepting them. They're accepting that. People are willing to accept you as long as you don't interfere with their lives. But they stir these things up to make us feel like we have to fight each other. And it's like provoking a dog fight or something. It's like they want us to fight each other. They want us to hate each other. They want us to blow all this stuff all out of proportion. And they know that if they keep picking at it, they can do that. I'm sorry, that's a rant. I'm sorry, dear. Sometimes I go on these rants. They just want us to fight each other, like fighting, like a cockfight, like a dog fight. They just want the sport. Sometimes I think they just do it for sport. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be indelicate about this.
It's all right. I don't believe that our God is a judge. I think everybody creates their own madness every single day. They like to say who God is, and okay, here's the law of attraction works as so. Every soul leaves the body and returns back to the spirit world. Every soul, no matter what they've done. The queen is now a spirit. Okay, she's out of her body. She's gone. It's not up to.
She's not the queen anymore.
Yeah,
she's not Mother Spirit.
God is not sitting up in a throne with a gavel like we have. Okay, that's a human ego thinking. We are Christ conscious. We humans. My daughter left. I actually had a whole vision. I've done a lot of psychedelics in my life. and I have visions. I watched my daughter's soul, her spirit, leave her body. Okay, so one of the men that I used to see around town here, this is why we don't take the law into our hands. This is why we don't abuse power and control. And you watch how the law of creation, it's called the law of cause and effect in the Kabbalion, the law of attraction works. My daughter died on, she transcended to the spirit world, I'd like to even say, because I don't like that word died. It sounds so final. And because the spirit lives on forever. On 9/9 of 2020, her death certificate literally reads 1919. So at 7:19 p.m., 1919, I am a life path 1. She is a life path 9, beginning and end. 1919 on 9/9/2020. One of the men that I used to see around town here, he used to try to give me drugs and lure me, but I was too strong. I was too powerful, so he couldn't get me. And I prayed to God. I did not take the law into my hands. I prayed. I didn't go blast it all over everywhere. Okay? I did actually let the police know some things. I did not take it into my own hands. I had faith. Guess what day he passed away this year? 1/9, January 9th. I said, wow.
Wow, that's a very big thing for, I mean, that is, you got to look at the numerology there, man.
That's why we leave the power to the universe and we have faith. That there are angels with every single child being abused. That God is going to call them into a position like myself. I, too, am an abuse survivor. God will choose the ones who are called, who step into their position and they don't abuse power and control. When they listen to God, not the media.
Well, I have to tell you, my mother was crazy as hell. Okay. She was nuts in a lot of ways. And it was undiagnosed for, she was really good at hiding it, but she was very, she had some big problems. So I also have had abuse myself, and it's very wounding. The thing is, you can get around it. Oh, and I go a step farther even than you do in this. One of the things that I figured out, I'm with Billy Carson in this camp. We are God. I am God, and so are you. We're all God. We are God. We are God.
I am God.
I'm God, you're God, we're God. We're all God.
My God is not off in heaven somewhere. My God is inside of me. My God is not sitting in a courtroom with a gavel. My God is inside of me.
Right. It's really sad that you know what, when I cross over people. It's one of the things I do. I cross over spirits that are stuck here. They get stuck here. And you know what? One of the number one reasons is that they get stuck, that they don't want to go into the light and go on. They're afraid of judgment.
Exactly. And when we stop self and start,
and I have to explain to them, I've died. I already died. I've been there. That's not the way it happens. There is something called the review. You will see your life played out, and you will see it from everybody that was in your life. You will see it from their point of view. However, that is not God judging you. You know, you will be the final judge of yourself in those instances. You're not going to meet some guy with a lightning bolt standing over you, ready to send you to hell. This is not what's going to happen to you, okay? And that goes for everybody. I mean, but think of it this way. If you're one of these people that have been abusive all your life and have done horrendous things, and you have to see everything from your victim's viewpoint. Well, I think that would be punishment enough, because you also are going to experience it from that viewpoint. So, whatever you did, you're going to experience that. And then you be the judge of whether that was a good thing to do or not.
Yep.
Okay. And so, things are not the way we've been told. They're just not. I mean, and Dolores Cannon has brought this up too. I mean, in her regressions and everything, she says she does not find what they tell us we're going to find on the other side either. And plenty of people who have had near-death experiences. And I know there's always a few that say, oh, but there is a hell, I went there. It's like, wow, you must be very special, because thousands and millions of people die and return and they don't see hell. So you must be very, very special. But that's okay. I'm not going to refute that that happened to you, but I'm just saying this is not what the majority of the people say. And I do know that we can create through suggestion things with our minds. And that's one of the ways that we've been hijacked, is by putting all of this crap in our minds. We start building things, we start creating, because we're divine creators. We are divine creators. We create reality, all of us. And so if you program us to create a bunch of shit, that's what you're going to get. Garbage in, garbage out. Okay? This is why I no longer will watch a lot of things that I used to watch when I was a kid and thought was so much fun. Horror shows and other stuff, cruel stuff, weird stuff. That when I was a kid, I thought it was, entertaining. I won't watch it now, because garbage in, garbage out. And if you're still watching that and scaring yourself to death, I'm sorry. All the time, I'm sorry. It's garbage in, garbage out. You're going to produce some garbage out of that, because you're a divine creator. So I don't. Okay, I'm gonna let you talk again. Sorry, I went on another rant.
I think I'm having information even come through about when you said the near-death experiences and out-of-body experiences. I started doing psychedelics back in, the first time I did LSD was in 1996. And I promise you, by design, this is how the dark side works, to come and put someone back to sleep. And that's what I feel like people are trying to do, is cast their spells on me and trick me with all this human ego and human judgment. What the psychedelics do is kill the ego. Period. That's what they do. And I have actually been trying to get more into microdosing over here in my little world, because this world is becoming too much. It's almost like weighing on me, and people are trying to trick me so bad, and they're not meaning to. They don't realize what they're doing, casting spells on everybody. Words are spells. That's why
words are spells.
Spelling.
I say that. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
The spells are spelling. Spells is it's right there. It's
absolutely.
Right there.
And so they've tricked us to believe that God is outside of us. God is not sitting there waiting. What people do, they do to themselves right here in the human form on earth. You are God. It's that simple. You don't actually need the rocks. You don't need anything. I unleashed powerful amounts of DMT in a prison cell with nothing but self-control. And Jesus from the Bible taught me that I had the same powers he did with my hands.
But that's what he said. And every time I bring that up in Sunday school or something, or the time that he would say, know ye not that ye are gods and sons of gods, and you will do all these things and greater? I got in
Mhm.
lots of trouble in Sunday school, you know that.
I bet you did.
I really, yeah, with Aries rising, you bet I did. Um, I would say these things, and then they would say that I needed my. You know how many times I got born again? They had to send me through the meat grinder. You know, they had to process me again. You weren't processed. You weren't tenderized enough the first time. We got to throw you back again. You know, into this born again stuff. You know, you got to be born again. I guess I had to be born again and again and again.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, geez. Okay, I just won't mention it anymore, folks. I just won't mention it anymore.
that's supposed to be split.
You know, and that's the way I had to be. I found out, but which goes exactly with my sign, persecuted the Ophucius. What? Persecuted for knowing what they know, for saying what they say, you know, knowing things and not being able to say it because you're persecuted. Look at who
Absolutely.
you're talking to here.
Going through right now. That's why Jesus spoke the way he did, because he was constantly persecuted every time he freaking spoke. That's why I feel like I'm bashing my head against the wall, arguing with people that are so indoctrinated and so fixed in there. I do have anger issues. I am ruled by Mars. I'm still a grieving mother, and people are just. I feel like I'm like I want to bash my own head against the wall sometimes, because their ears are stuck up there under such heavy spells. Even the military, for God's sakes. I don't agree with all this dropping bombs and killing people. And just, if everybody would stop all these lies, honestly.
Well, don't you, you know, somebody else brought this up, but I realized this a long time ago. The God of the Bible condones war. The
Mars
Old
is.
Testament, the Old
Mhm.
Testament version of God, which I really feel was probably Enlil. Okay.
You're
Because
right.
Inky and Enlil, it really, I think they took two gods and kind of slammed them together there. I think they just kind of slammed together Inky and Enlil and just called it the, you know, God. But obviously the war god is not Jesus's father. I saw that immediately, and I was like a kid when I read the Bible and saw that this could not possibly be the Father in heaven that Jesus was talking about in the Bible, because this guy's personality is entirely the opposite.
I'm gonna look for this actually. I think Inky warned Noah about the flood. That is why he got banished to the underworld.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. In
Enki actually was probably trying to help us since he was the one that tweaked the genome to make us
Here's
what
a
we
link
are.
for that in the netherworld order. And it even goes to the Bible, because the Bible has been so twisted that people are like so fixed on every word. You gotta use discernment when you read the Bible. You have got to use discernment, because it has been so twisted and so corrupted over all of these years. You got it right.
Wow. This was supposed to be about astrology, and look where we ended up.
Well, it does come
This
back to
happens on my show. We'll start out with one subject, and then it's like somehow we'll go down this road, and it's like, oh, what? How did we get here? Jeez, but it's important, you know, to
So
come up
what if
with
I
to
said,
say that.
is anybody gonna crucify me if I say that Jesus is Satan? How about your higher self as your God consciousness, your Christ consciousness, and the devil,
We're
your
certainly not going to
item,
crucify.
is your lower self. So people are either operating out of their Jesus or their devil at any given time of the day. The same way people could say, oh, Heather, you're acting like such a little devil. But when I do something good, they'll say, oh, Heather, she's such a saint. She's such an angel. Oh, she's just the perfect one. And then the next day they could say, oh, she's acting like the devil. She's doing sorcery. She's doing the devil's work. So it really just depends. What if I said Jesus is the devil? If you go read this, even when you saw a star fall from heaven back in the Old Testament, in Isaiah, even.
Well, you got to be careful. There's the devil, there's Lucifer, and there's Satan, and they're not the same person.
And Lucifer is Venus, actually.
Yeah, Lucifer is a light bearer. Now, wait a minute. You're telling me that light is evil? I have to think about that. Yeah, it is. Lucifer is really the morning star. That's really that's Venus.
Yep. That's in my astrology book. Lucifer, the morning star, and that's she, the queen of heaven. And they talk about how bad the queen of heaven is in Jeremiah 44.
Yeah, and why? Yeah. Because it's a challenge to the crap that you wanted people to believe. Yeah.
Yep.
Saying it's a challenge to the crap you want people to believe.
This. I've actually got the hymns of Inanna, because Inanna, back in the ancient Sumerian text,
Inanna was Enki's daughter.
She was sent here by her father and she was hung on a hook. It's a very, very similar story to Jesus, but it was a woman sent here by her father. She had a lion. She was hung on a hook by her sister. Jesus was hung on a cross, betrayed by his brother. See, they've made everything to be about the man. In the original ancient Sumerian text, I've got the hymns of Inanna right here.
I would be interested in reading that. I would be interested in that because honestly, well, because I'm an Ophucius. I can say that now. Well, because I'm an Ophucius. I want to know this kind of stuff.
5 placements in Leo. I'm a Leo moon, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Rahu. My Mars is probably no longer. Let me look at my progress chart here. Actually, what do I still have in Leo? Yes. My Jupiter and my North Node Rahu. Okay, my Rahu is still in Jupiter at 4 degrees. I mean, in Leo. My Rahu is in Leo. My Jupiter is in Leo. My Mars is at 24 degrees Leo. So I've got 4, 14, and 24 degrees Leo. And my Saturn is in Leo. My daughter is also a Leo. She is my guide. I don't trust everyone else. I trust my spirit guides usually. I've got the hymns of Inanna, and she's standing with her lion right here on the cover. I've already read, and it's really amazing because it's she who descended into the underworld, the holy priestess of heaven, the Holy One. Her father gave her all the powers. She had to go see her sister Ereshkigal. So it's like
Ereshkigal.
What?
Ereshkigal.
Yeah, Inanna is the queen of heaven. And so guess what? I have a Venus in
Ereshkigal is to some people, I know that she's considered the vampire goddess.
Oh yeah. And oh goodness, this is so crazy the way it all goes.
There is a sect of vampires that worship Ereshkigal. I ran into those guys. Ereshkigal is their deity, and they're in the vampire.
The underworld.
So yeah, there, and it's things aren't the way that we have been told. We have to seek the truth out ourselves. We cannot just expect. I mean, it's all been used against us. Our inability, and this is why this channel is dedicated once again And I guess I said it on the show, and then I realized it really is true. One of the things that I'm really dedicated to is freeing the slaves, okay? Helping people regain their godlike superpowers that really is our birthright because we're all divine. Because we should be able to heal the sick, raise the dead, and do all that stuff and more, and walk on water and levitate and fly. We should be able to do all that, and mind and telepathy. And I'm working on it. I'm already bilocating. I'm already RVing. I'm already manipulating weather. I'm already, well, there's a list. You guys who have been around a while, you know there's a list of things that I can do in crossing over souls. Haven't raised anybody from the dead that I know yet, but maybe that's coming. I don't know. But yeah, I am working on that. I'm working on getting that back for us because I believe that we're supposed to be able to do all of that and more. And that we can, if we clear out all of the restrictions and blocks that have been put on us artificially. So I'm working on that, guys. We're creators. We can change these things. We don't have to sit here and take it. But once you realize that, you realize that there is something to live for. I'm living for those days when we really can. I've changed myself so much. When I look at my old videos, I've changed myself so much. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to change myself a whole lot more, too. And that's the wonderful thing about this life is like, don't give up, because as long as you still are living, there's still time to change things.
Yep.
No matter how it looks.
You got it. You got it. If I go back and look at my old videos, I'm just like, wow.
I know. You look at your old pictures in high school and you're like, what the hell was I thinking? There's the wonder years and then there's the wonder why years.
You got it. I haven't even.
Why?
I've got these the lost books of Inky. And the hymns. I've read the hymns of Inanna. I've read the Stage of Time. I've read gosh, what's the other one? I can't remember right this second. By what's his name?
Oh, me? The new hair? Are you talking to me, Gladys? Oh, thanks. If you are. Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know.
Put the fork in the outlet? What are you talking about, Scotty? Don't put the fork in the outlet, Scotty. Don't do it, honey. Don't do it. Not yet. There'll be plenty of time later. Oh, God, you guys are crazy. I love you. I love you guys. You're nuts.
I think I just come to the conclusion that all of the history stuff has been distorted, so I stopped looking and searching. I stopped studying and I just let go. That's what I did. I just let go.
Stuff comes to me even though I'm not looking for it, though. You know that?
I was on a relentless search for the truth, and it was becoming an addiction. That's actually a third eye chakra imbalance, is addicted to spirituality. I've got this amazing chart about addictions and the chakras, and that is addicted to spirituality, addicted to looking for the truth, and then chakras from the Kalobi Recovery Center. And so each chakra is related to addictions, whether it's smoking cannabis or addicted to sugar or addicted to anything. But even when we're using things, abusing things is the key word here. To use something medically is different than being abusing things. If we're using something to aid in healing or depression and using it in moderation. That is not an addiction. It's the crown chakra. It involves religion and spiritual seeking and is associated with addictions to spiritual seeking.
Oh, by the way, Scotty, I agree. Really, not being being present in the now is very important.
Absolutely, it is. Not worried about what's going to happen. That's the powerful thing in my nervous system reset breath work I've been doing. She says,
I was trained really good. My mother was a worry wart, and I was trained really good on how to panic and worry really, really, really well. I was very, very.
yeah, it can make us sick. Mama's going to put
I
all
was.
fears into you. Mama's gonna wait
Mama's
up.
gonna put all her fears into you. Yeah, I remember. Yep, that's Pink Floyd. Absolutely. And that's the toxic side of motherhood.
Yep.
Unfortunately, there is a toxic side to everything. Yeah, there is there is no toxic whatever. Yeah, there's a toxic anything. Anything can be toxic if it's warped. Anything can be toxic. And the funny thing is, a lot of times when you encounter somebody like that, it's been passed down. It's been passed down from their parents and the parents before and the parents before.
Yep.
Those fears, those worries, those things that they put into you, they're passing them down through the generations because at one point something happened to somebody and they had to react a certain way. You know, really, that's what a generational curse is like, though.
Yep, that's what it is, a curse.
Generational curses.
Generational trauma.
Yeah, absolutely. See that what now you get me, you guys, why I'm trying to get you into the breath work.
Yep.
It gets you out of past, out of future, and into the now and into your body right now and into your breath right now. And then you're not thinking about the future. You're not thinking about the past.
You're here in this present moment. You go click on that other ship breath work right now. It's 22 minutes. This is the way my daughter speaks to me.
Well, not right now because we're in the show right now. But
well, yeah. But if that particular breath work, she says after you breathe in and out, you're literally making your breath go from the parasympathetic state consciously to.
I just did one on that. Yeah. Oh, you were there for that, weren't you?
Yeah. Weren't you? And so she says, as you exhale, that little voice in your head that's telling you you need to know this and you need to control this. She says, just say to that little voice, you can go away now. I'm in this present moment. She says,
yeah, just relax. We don't
and
need
speak
that.
this as you exhale. I don't really know what will happen. And the more I do it, I left a comment and they just gave it a heart and did me a reply. They're really awesome breathwork coaches. And the more I do these, I left that comment that said, every time I do this, it gets more beautiful. I don't really know what will happen. I don't really need to know what will happen. I do not need to control everything. I release all control and I keep letting go more and more and more. And many people, they can't. And they did write a song about that. If you cling too tightly, you're gonna lose control.
Mm-hmm.
So when
hold
people
on loosely, but don't let go.
There you go.
Cling too tightly, you're gonna lose control.
And do you know that's my Neptune and Ophucius?
We all need something to believe in, but a whole lot of space to breathe in.
You got
Isn't it funny?
And there's literally a song to go with everything. If people would
Yes,
just,
there is, isn't
and
there?
the thing is, we got to have faith. You got to have faith. They wrote a song about that one too.
Faith to faith to faith. I gotta have faith, baby.
Don't
Yeah,
let
he's gone too. He's passed on too, but he could show up in my living room too.
and I know all the games you play, 'cause I play them too.
Oh, before that river becomes an ocean. Oh, wait, I'm
The
ocean.
ocean's
Oh,
calling.
dear.
That, if you read that Ophucius information that I've already shared several times in this chat,
Mhm.
you have it. I sent it to you personally. But if you go all the way down, anybody born between 1973 and 1983, I do believe your Neptune is in Ophucius. So
Ooh.
that's me. I have a Neptune in Ophucius. That's my subconscious. That's my just think of it like your outer planets, Mercury and things. Those are our outer self. The sun, Mercury is the way we communicate. Venus is a lot about our love and our relationships and how we behave in that aspect. And the outer planets, the further out they go, that's our inner self, like Pluto and Neptune.
I'm thinking, see, this is another thing that's weird about my chart. I have Libra, but they tell me it's thrown out of my chart. And I'm wondering, does that change when you get progressed, when your chart progresses?
It depends. I think you need to stick with your midheaven sign during your birth chart because those things move a lot. The moon and the ascendant sign. They move.
Because the reason I'm asking is because all my life I
Your
have wanted
Libra.
things to have a chance to make things orderly and safe and balanced for myself and balance.
Your Mars is in Libra. I'm looking at you
So
right now.
only recently, only in the last few years have I had a chance to really do that for myself. Only in the last few years, mostly since I got here, have I really been able to start to get my life more the way I want it to actually be. Because before that, there was always somebody or something coming in that was I'd get to just about to that point, and then it would just be like poof, yanked away. And I always wondered what it meant when something's thrown out of a chart, and I think really that maybe that's exactly what it means, is that you can't seem to accomplish that. You can't. There's some things that just you can't accomplish when your chart's like that, or that's very hard to accomplish. But because people used to say, "Are you a Libra?" No, I'm not a Libra. Why do you think I'm a Libra? Well, you're so intense. You know,
Your
it's
North
like,
Node is also in Libra. I'm looking at your natal chart right now. I can't get. Well, I could pull it up on the computer actually, because I did do it earlier. Let me see here.
yeah,
Close.
we need to talk. I need to talk when I'm not doing the show because I won't remember most of this. I'm trying to channel all the energies of the show
Yeah,
together.
your Mars is in Libra in your North Node. I'm gonna have to send you more information about the North and South Node actually. Um,
Yeah,
because
because that's something that I don't understand that well yet either, and I think most people don't have a clue about that, what a north and south node is, and what that does.
it's about, yeah. I know it's real confusing, and when we do it all like this, especially with the chat, that we went all over the place. It can be
Yeah,
hard.
we're all over the place, but that's good. And and this is my show. I can do that if I damn want. That's the
So
wonderful thing, right? It's
no,
like I don't have a boss standing over me telling me you have to stay on track. It's like no, but
your north
people.
node is your destiny and karmic path. Your north node is in Libra.
Ah,
So
so balance.
this is about the north nodes, mind, body, green right there, which you can't click on it right now, but I can send that to myself because you have my other phone number. I don't give my real phone number to anybody. And nobody can take it personally, but I've been hacked. I've been stalked. I'm not playing games
I
anymore.
have been too. I have been
No,
too more than once. I've had stalkers, hackers. You don't know this about me probably yet, but I was a performer and I even had groupies and all that kind of weird shit. And haters and hecklers and I mean, yeah, I mean, had all
yep.
that.
See, I think the people that really want to get to know themselves and their natal chart, they turn away from all the distractions. As a matter of fact, I just shared a quote from the spiritual library on my community tab the other day. And I thank Witch Moon for sharing that with me because I'm over here trying to heal some pretty traumatic stuff. I'm concentrating on breath work and yoga, and I literally have to tell people no, no, thank you, no, no, thank you to watching all this shenanigans and things all over the world, even constant YouTube live streams. My yoga and my breath work, myself and my health is more important than all of that stuff. And
Yeah,
I don't
I've
make
given up
time
a
for
lot of
that.
shows. Yeah, that I
Yep,
used to go on all the time.
me too.
That yeah, I've given up some shows because I need the time
Yep.
and
And it's all energy and it's training. Like this quote says, the power of attention is the measure of your inner force. Concentrated observation of one thing shuts out other things and causes them to disappear. So like when I need to do my astrology charts, my phone does not ring. It never rings. It's constantly on do not disturb. I do not hear a beep for text messages. It's been this way for years. There are no little red dots on my phone saying, click here, you got 3,000 emails. Click here, do this. I have a personal phone and I have a business phone. And I don't give anybody else my personal number. The great secret of success is to focus the attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled without permitting any distraction. All progress depends upon the increase of attention. The ideas which impel you to action are those which dominate the consciousness, those which possess the attention. That's on my community tab. I shared it 1 day ago, but it's kind of down because I shared quite a few things related to the eclipse. But one of my favorite channels is the spiritual library that Witch Moon introduced it to me. And so I really just love that one because that really hit home, like what we turn away from, who we turn away from, if they're being a distraction. I'm blocking people left and right in my YouTube. I'm not playing games with all the distractions anymore. There are people that are on certain agendas that are trying to throw us off our square. It is keeping us from knowing ourselves and stepping into our full power. Because as Scotty Boy said, we are God. As you said, we are God. I'm not waiting for God to come save me.
I'm God, you're God, we are God.
I'm
We are
healing
all God.
myself by turning away from everyone else. And there's a reason why I'm healing faster. There's a reason why I was able to quit smoking Mary Jane on April 1st. And this is not an April Fool's joke, because I'm doing my work. I'm doing my breath work. I'm releasing stress through yoga. I was able to quit smoking cigarettes. My mental health and things, I'm getting real frustrated with people who won't do their work, is what the problem is. Because I feel like I'm talking to
Well, yeah, there's always that is there's always people that you will try to help them and you will tell them what to do and they will just never do it. And then there's nothing you can do, you know, and they expect you to just, well, help me.
Yep.
Well, I told you a million times how to do that.
Exactly.
You won't do it. I
They
can't
won't
help
do it.
that. I
Exactly.
can't force you to do it. I'm telling people, get yourself some Oswellia. It's a simple thing, not even that expensive.
I did go like a
Oswellia, it'll help you so much, and people, I ain't doing that. No. Or I'll say, you need to do some breath work. You need to do that. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing it. It's like, oh, okay. But what am I supposed to do? Because at the end of the day, you got to make some choices, folks. You got to make choices. I can't make your choices for you. Or as David says, most of you know who David is. David always tells me, I can't do your homework for you, love. I can't do your tests for you. I
yep.
can't take your exams. Yeah. So, and that's the thing is that like we can't take your exams for you. We can't force you to take care of yourself.
I,
If I gave up sugar, I mean, geez, do you think it was easy to give up
no, good job.
refined sugar and wheat?
Good job. That's your sacral chakra. Good job. Do you still have the
Do
thing?
you think that was simple? Do you think that was easy? Do you think that maybe took some control?
It took a lot of self-control and willpower, and you got it.
I'm still working on it. I'm still
I'm
not,
so proud of you.
perfect at these things, but honestly, sometimes I still have a little bit of something once in a while. But honestly, it's like I'm very careful now because you know what? There are consequences. And fortunately, and I think it is fortunate, and this is it's unfortunate when you don't when you don't notice the consequence. Now that I'm off now that I'm off of smoke, it's like being off of smoking. When you smoke for a long time and then you're off, all of a sudden smoking, oh my God, does it affect you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can't stand it.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm
When you are off sugar, when you are off wheat, oh, do I notice if I get a hold of something with
yeah,
that, refined sugar and wheat. Oh my gosh, does it give me problems? And that is what a lot of people are afraid of. They're going to have to give up some of their beloved things, that, and it's true. It's very hard. I love the smell of fresh baked bread as much as anybody with a nice pat of butter on it. And
mm,
I mean, I miss that the heck out of it. I miss having my Aunt Bee's lasagna. I miss, all of those things. A freshly baked Toll House cookie. And I'm risking changing the whole chat to food chat now, but I miss those things. And yeah, I'm having to work around it and find other ways to do that. Have this stuff. But I have noticed such a change in myself, and the people around me have noticed such a huge change in me. So you've got a choice. You've got a choice.
yeah.
You can stay aching and sick and keep poisoning yourself and really, but then, you know, there's not much anybody can do for you. They can only do so much.
Yep. I just shared that. That's what came to me, was the God giving the assignments to each zodiac sign. Aries plants the seed. I can give the advice. I can tell you what I'm doing, and people are watching me. And they can keep watching me getting better. And I keep taking longer breaks from YouTube because it is falling on deaf ears. Michelle's right. And I am getting so frustrated. I'm like Jesus in Matthew 21 when he flips the dang table. To all the people who aren't listening, the tax collectors, they just want to argue. I'm not going to give you. This is one of the things that my ex said to me. Either you're going to listen to me when I give you some breath work, or I'm not going to fucking help you. Period. I'm not going to waste my breath to continue telling people if they can spend 3 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours a day in chat rooms and they can't do 20 minutes worth of yoga. Do not complain to me. Don't do it. Save your breath. Do not come crying to me. If you are in chat rooms all day and you cannot do 20 minutes of breath work twice a day, go cry to someone else. Here is a quarter. Call someone who cares. Because I have turned away from many things. I closed my Facebook so I don't have the compulsion to go.
I almost never on Facebook. I just keep it every now and then to find somebody, but I am almost never on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook in, I think, months now.
I go through phases, like the sugar, and it's the processed and refined sugars that cause the sickness. Regular sweeteners in blueberries, those have so many good things for us. Antioxidants,
Yeah.
pineapples.
You know what?
Like
Oh my gosh. I am nuts for and have developed such a thing for these caracaras and mandarins and blood oranges, and I can't have the regular oranges. I'm actually allergic to oranges, but some of these other kinds I found out I can have, and the sugar in them, oh my gosh, they taste so good now. The natural sugar, now that I'm not having the natural sugar in stuff tastes so good. Fresh pineapple, grapes even.
And it's so good. The pineapple enzymes are so good for our stomach, honestly. We need to turn away from it. And the thing is, we got to smack our own hand when we go to run for cookies. They shouldn't even be in our cart. They shouldn't even be in our home, because that's how you resist temptation. The Bible says, resist the enemy, the devil, temptation. Well, no matter how many words they change it to. Your tricky mind. Resist your own mind and it will flee. Tell yourself no. And my mom, she puts cakes and cookies and all that stuff down there. I hide it so I can't see it. When she's not around, my mom's a diabetic and she's got kidney stones. She had to have surgery. Kidneys are blocked up because of processed foods and sugar. Sugar causes a fatty liver and in turn causes diabetes. So I can't make my mom change, right? But I'm not going to tell her anymore. She's going to go through what she's going through and she will learn and make her changes when she wants to. I almost am done talking to her.
My mother had to go with her church group to McDonald's all the time.
Yes.
She always went to McDonald's, and she was diabetic, and of course, she got all kinds of, watch the movies about this, folks, what this stuff does. But really, a lot of our food is already so toxic.
It is.
You can take a lot of burden off of yourself by just making your own food and
Yep.
just
I bought,
just
go ahead.
not falling for the all of these things tempting you to poison yourself, because the poisons are addictive. The additives in cigarette smoke, there can be like 28 different things in cigarette smoke that aren't tobacco.
Oh, yep.
And they're there to make you addicted. When I started smoking natural cigarettes, I stopped being quite so addictive. And then from there, I could go to herbal. And then from there, I could quit. But the thing that really made me quit was for my voice, because I was losing my voice. Isn't it funny how for something bigger than ourselves, we'll quit. We won't quit for our own health. We won't do things. But, for a loved one or for something bigger than ourselves, we'll quit. It's funny. But if you have to come up with a reason, if you have to find somebody that's going to be hurt if you end up sick and dying, and do it for them. If you can't do it any other way, think, oh my God, what will happen to my daughter? What will happen to my mom? What will happen, to this? What will happen to that? If you have to think of it that way, because I felt my voice is a gift from God. And that's what I was told. When I lost my voice, I went to a group to get a healing, and they were a faith healing type group. They sang to you. They would sing and pray over you. And one of them came up and says, I have a message for you. Your voice is going to come back. And when it comes back, you have to sing with all your heart and sing like God's listening, because God is listening, and it is a gift. It's going to come back better than it ever was before. And it did. And at first, it sounded like I made dolphin squeaks and stuff because I had lost my voice. I'm a singer. I was a singer. And it came back. It really came back strong. And I realized that whenever I sing, I am also moving energy with it. So I am really, people have even said that they, when I would sing something for them, that I never heard it that way before. I never liked that song. I like your version. I like to hear you sing it. You are moving with your voice. It's air. It's sacred. Okay. So what we're doing right here, this is part of this chakra right here that your voice comes through, is a creation chakra. It really is. This is about creativity right here, this chakra. So if you do stuff that fucks with this chakra right here, this throat chakra, you're messing up your creations. So I don't know why somebody has to hear that right now. Okay, I don't know who it is that needs to know that, but you've got to unblock your throat chakra. Somehow it's blocked.
Yes. I just Googled, as you said, that the meaning of abracadabra means I speak to create. The literal translation of a magician. You are a magician.
As I say it, so it is. As I speak it, so it is. Abracadabra.
I will create as I speak. Or in Aramaic, I create like the word. Our words.
I am God. I am God. And as I affirm that and accept the responsibility, because that is a responsibility too. If you're God and you're a creator, Now you have a responsibility. And I think that's one of the reasons why some people run from that, why they're scared to
Yes.
hear them. Because there's a big responsibility. That means that you have a part in the stuff that happens to you and everybody else around you. You are a creator. That means you have a part in all this. So, yeah, that can be pretty scary if you think about it. To think that everything I'm saying, and this is why I've had to learn to temper my words because, I'm not I'm not the kind of person that easily does that either. I've had to learn it. I've had to learn to be like that because I can be incredibly blunt and incredibly sarcastic.
Me too. This might be why we resonate so well.
Yeah, that's probably part of it.
My Uranus is actually in Libra, and since Libra is ruled by Venus, okay, I did this tree of life, and I put the masculine symbol, the upright.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm answering Louis Ta. You mean abracadabra? No, abracadabra literally means as I speak, so it is. Anyway, go right ahead. Sorry.
This is Uranus right here in the middle of the Star of David that I drew. I was looking at a lot of different things online, and after my daughter passed away, I knew her father's name is David, and he was named after King David from the Bible. So the Star of David has an even more intense meaning even for me. But Uranus here on the Tree of Life resonates with the throat chakra as you're talking about this. And that's one of the ways Kayla speaks to me, because Uranus went retrograde on her birthday, I think in 2021. Next year, her and I both get a full moon. So I'm paying attention to all of the stuff in the skies because my angels are calling me to pay attention to things, even though the Bible even warns that everybody's going to say, oh, look, there's the Messiah. Oh, look, go look. In Matthew 24, we are warned, do not be deceived. Do not be led astray. Do not follow everybody saying, look, watch this. You need to know this. No, I really don't. My angels are saying, don't do it. Don't do it. No, Mom, over here. Can't you see? And it's becoming a really tricky thing for me.
Folks, if you see your angel standing around in a corner face palming, pay attention.
Oh my God, can't
right?
you see?
Am I right? Oh, you better pay attention to that. They've got a reason. Mine has done that before. It's like, oh, whoa.
Oh, yeah. It's becoming really hard, and it makes me look like a real not kind woman sometimes, but I really just, people are not getting it. Like, I don't need to go buy a whole bunch of things to communicate with my daughter. Like, she's literally right here, and I think she wants, sometimes she's screaming, Mom, don't do it, don't listen to them. I have got fooled by one tarot card reader. I paid her $111. Then she charged my debit card $33 more and 33 more. So that's 111 plus 33 is 144. And then she reactivated for another, what's that, 177? 144 plus 33. Yep. 70.
That pisses me off because.
And she didn't even give me a 15-minute reading. And my daughter's like, Mom, what the hell are you thinking? I mean, I'm right here. Hello, Mom. Hello. And so I'm trying to tell people, no, I don't really need all this. What I need to do is listen to spirit and then keep trying to convince me that I need to do this and do that. And I've already done so many psychedelics and ayahuasca that I don't need all of this stuff. And people are not.
Well, you know what? Shamans used to do that for. They used to give you that to show you that the way. But once you learn the way, you can get there on your own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can. So
So
really, you shouldn't need it forever. You
that's
shouldn't
why
need
I'm
it forever.
teach people how to do it without that. They don't need that. I don't need any more ayahuasca, to be honest with you. I don't need anything that's going to increase it. People are like, oh, go get some Moldavite. It'll increase your intuition. No, I really don't need any right now.
Seriously, I have gotten to the point I have enough training and enough of whatever now, I guess. Actually, you know what? This is something I tried. I know that we naturally make a little bit of LSD, a little bit of DMT. And one time I said, okay, turn it up. Turn it up from just a little tiny bit to a lot more. It was very interesting. What happened? Do you know you can do that? You can do
Yeah,
that. I
it's
walked out and I, I remember turning to my friend. We were in a bar at the time. I hadn't done anything except have a drink. I remember we walked out and I'm looking and all of the sidewalks looked like they all had diamonds in them. They were all glittering.
oh gosh, yeah.
And I said, uh, are the sidewalks all glittering for you? Is it the light? What's going on here? No. Uh, seriously, you can do that. You can do stuff like that.
You can do it through the breath work, even. Absolutely,
Yeah.
because it's called Jacob's Ladder. We've got 33 vertebrae in our spine. The land flowing with milk and honey that the Bible talks about is the pineal gland. When you activate it, when I'm doing my breath work, I start to see psychedelic stuff. When you lit,
Yeah. Hmm.
but you have to
You want to
be,
see some psychedelic stuff for free, guys? Do
yeah,
that breath work I've been teaching you.
like really do it.
It's
And
free. It's
but
free.
the only time it happens is when I am really in it and I stop thinking about it. And the mind is real powerful, real tricky. Sometimes if I'm feeling anxious and my mind is going, I get no psychedelic visions with my breath work. I really got to really just let go, not think about anything I need to do in the moment, and be literally present. And that's it's totally, I got baptized in prison.
See, if you learn to do that, if
Now,
you learn to do that, it's not like anybody can take that away from you then.
no, they can't.
You know, they can't take it back from you. They can't raid your stash, then can they?
This has been an amazing chat. I can't thank you enough. We've been all over the place, but that's the way spirit flows. Because spirit
Yes.
wants this stuff to come out, that it's not just all
Yes.
about astrology.
Oh,
It's
wow.
astrology. This is still the return to ourself. That's even what the tarot deck is about. If done properly with the chicken Kabbalah, it's 22
Mhm.
paths through the 22 major arcana and the 22 Hebrew letters of the alphabet. There's 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. Aleph, Bet, it's Aleph is the first letter, Aleph, and that's the Fool card. There's
Mhm.
22 letters that go with the 22 major arcana.
Good
There
for
are
you, Scotty.
22 paths through the tree of life. So
Hmm.
it's like I have the chicken Kabbalah, and it tells exactly all of the Hebrew letters and the Hebrew meanings for all of the 22 major arcana in the tarot deck. I actually have the Tree of Life tarot deck by Lee Bernstein, and what the heck is his name? He's a real famous.
Oh, that sounds like an interesting tarot deck. Yeah, I'm gonna have
It's
to
the
check
Tree
that
of Life
out.
one. It's the one I was called to get and study, not any of the other ones. Cyril
I
Marchand.
always say you got to find the one that talks to you, because if you don't, you're never going to be as good at it. It's one that talks to you.
Well, and my daughter passed away. She was 22 years old. So 22 is really important. And I did a huge 11, 11, 11 prayer in 2018 to heal all past trauma. 9, 9, 2020 also adds up to 22. So she was 22. The day she passed away adds up to 22. 22 and 22 is 44. And I'm going to be 44 on the full moon next year. So, and that's 2 plus 2 is 4. So the 22 equals 4. And absolute. And 44, 4 plus 4 is 8. And that's the snake eating its tail, which she drew everywhere. She left me signs everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Sometimes I want it to stop and I wish I could turn it all off and just go back to my normal life, honestly. Sometimes it's
No, that doesn't happen. No,
it's not going to happen. That's a good
you
one.
know, that reminds me. That reminds me of the moment that I finally had to accept that I was medium, because there were a lot of people around me that mediumship was evil and blah blah blah. But I finally had to accept that I was a medium when I was in a bar and grill. I was in a bar and grill, having chicken wings and a margarita. Right. That's all, just a normal margarita, nothing funny about it. And a person came, and it was crowded because it was wing night. And she comes over, and there's this young man bothering her, trying to get her attention. He can't get her attention. And he looks at me and he says, I don't know why. I can't get her. I can't seem to get her attention. I don't understand it. And I looked at her and I said, why won't you talk to this young man? He's a nice looking young man. He really wants to get in touch with you. She said, what young man? And the one that's trying to get in touch with you here. What does he look like? I described him. She goes, no. I'm an atheist. No. This can't be. And I said, what is he saying? And I told her, and she was going, no, nah. Did somebody put you up? No, I don't know anything about you, honey. I only see you once in a while here, and she's like, I said, he says he's been leaving you something to try and get your attention. He's been leaving you walnuts. I said, yeah, it's something small and brain-like. She said, yeah, it's walnuts. It's, and I'm thinking, yeah, they do kind of look like a brain, don't they? And she's going, no, man, yeah, I've been finding walnuts everywhere. He used to leave walnuts for me to let me know he was there, when I was gone. And I've been finding them all over the place. And I thought I'd clean them all away. And I'm like, oh, honey, he's been leaving them for you. He wants you to know he's still around. He's watching over you. She's like, no, this can't be. I'm an atheist. I'm like, honey, he's gonna give you a gift, and this gift is going to cinch it for you. Okay, but he wants you to know that he's around. And she goes home. I don't hear it until way later, of course. She goes home and she finds the size of a walnut, a big sugary nug on her cleaned off kitchen table. Nobody had been in the place. And she's like, this still can't be. Like, doesn't that prove it to you? She goes, yeah, that would be the kind of thing he'd do. But no, this can't be. It's like I sat there and I said, yeah, I'm a medium, all right. Yeah, I'm a medium. I gotta be this. That's because I'm a medium. All this time I've been a medium, I have never known, I never accepted that about myself. Okay. At some point, you got to accept who you are.
And you're an Ophucius.
At some point, you got to say, okay, I am that weird kid. I am that real weird kid. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. And the thing is, I think there were certain ways that not only did we reject it, but the fear of rejection can cause us to not activate the throat, not speak up, not accept, not all fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of people thinking we're crazy, fears keeps us sick. And it keeps us like, that's what I'm trying to get everyone to focus on, tapping into their gifts. Really start studying your freaking natal chart. That is why I do it for free. I don't do it so I can just give it to somebody so they can lose it in all their 10,000 photos and keep, like what I did when I started studying my natal chart. I'm from Mastering the Zodiac channel back in 2019. I sat down and I wrote down the symbols for the sun. This is how I can read one so well, because I took time to do that, because that is important to me. That means I have to turn away from all these constant live chats that never end and everybody's just talking and socializing. Like, I sat down to study myself and energy and astrology because my name is Heather Dawn, actually. And so the sun is a very important element for me to be studying.
Of course.
And that's my middle name. It's
like water is going to be like that. You mean like my given name, Diane, which is a goddess.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. By the way, my whole life, my whole life is trying to say, oh, by the way, you're a goddess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ophucius was a goddess. I just found that out today. I didn't know Ophucius was a goddess. That was the thing that I really took from the Ophucius is a goddess. I never heard that before. Mm-hmm. So I got this double goddess thing. No wonder part of my path is to say I'm God and so are you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your name really does, like Lewis. I wonder what Lewis, if you found out, you know what, we ought to do that one day. We ought to get one of these, find a site where we find a name and we should go through everybody's name, find out what it means. Yep. You should all go through and find out what your names, you should all know what your names mean. It might have a special message for you.
It does. Mine is a flower from Scotland, and I'm 14%.
Heather. Mm-hmm. And Dawn, the sun.
Heather is a flower in Scotland, and it's not pronounced Edinburgh. It's pronounced Edinburgh. Edinburgh. And my name is pronounced Heather. Heather, because they roll the R's over in Scotland.
I can roll my R's. And you also read the runes, girl.
If we get out of our minds in a lot of ways and let the spirit really flow, I speak in tongues. I chant.
Me too. Yeah. I wonder if we ever tried to speak, if we were ever like having a voice chat and we started speaking in tongues, if we'd start answering each other. Wouldn't that be funny to find out?
It would be amazing if we really got in the flesh.
We gotta try that one day.
And you are not that far from me. You're right in Ohio. I'm in Illinois. You're just
you are Illinois over there, you poor fellow. You poor folks are Illinois. Illinois. I'm so sorry. No, Illinois. Yeah, that's not that terribly far. Yeah.
No, it's not. I'm really like right on the other side of the Indiana border.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
So not that far at all.
Uh-oh. Is the world ready for that? Yeah, I don't know if the world is quite ready.
I don't think they
Yeah, I
are.
don't know. The world has never been quite ready for me, but then again, I'm here anyway, so get over it. Get over yourself. I'm here.
Well, thank you to Michelle for sending me the link here. She just said she knew us two were supposed to connect. And hopefully some of the people that I sent over here subscribe to your channel.
Thank you.
And I hope
I
everyone
really appreciate
gives you
it.
a thumbs
And
up.
now you've got to go and subscribe to Witch Moon too. I mean, Lady Spellbreaker. I'm getting loopy now, I think. I'm finally getting to the point where I'm getting a little loopy. We've been on for over 3 hours. Do you realize that?
No, I know.
Doesn't seem like it, does it? Doesn't seem like it.
Time flies when you're having fun during an eclipse.
And we still got people in chat here.
Yeah, there's still people here.
So this is interesting, obviously. Somebody's interested in this.
We're capturing the attention, doing karaoke and having a good old time.
Yeah, having karaoke. We got to have another karaoke night. I've done that before. Oh, you were born in Elmhurst. Boy, that sounds interesting. Elmhurst.
Is it Illinois?
Yeah, Lewis says, I'm an empath that attracts all kinds of ghosts. Lewis, maybe you're meant to be a medium too.
Yeah.
Because I used to call myself a strange attractor. I just attracted strange shit all the time. And I found out that actually I'm supposed to be a shaman. Maybe you're a shaman. Maybe you're a medium. Maybe you got a job to do, Lewis, and you just need to push it a little farther and you'd find out that
your power.
Yeah, step into your power.
Let fear get you.
Because, I know that when I was around the wrong people, I couldn't step into my power. Looking at what Ophucius means, it means, and you know what? Somebody had told me when they were looking, when I was trying to heal my feet, and they were looking at my feet trying to help me, they said, you've been burned on these feet many times. And I said, I know I have. And and that looking into Ophucius, Ophucius. That's part of that energy, is that you have been punished for being who you are over and over again.
Yes. I've got, when I was 3 years old, now that you mention that, I don't talk about this a whole lot, but I dated a guy, back in 2000 or so, 2003. And he said, oh my God, you have the Blair Witch Project on your hand. Regardless of what anybody thinks about that movie, right? It looks like someone being crucified on this scar that I got when I was 3 years old. I fell with a baby food jar in my hand and I tripped up the steps and it almost went all the way through my hand. And I got 16 stitches, one long one. And then this little one over here looks exactly like someone being crucified. So, and I forget about that. You don't even know how bad I needed this, because my family thinks I've lost my ever-loving mind. I feel like I'm speaking alien language when I talk about chakras and the energy.
I get that a lot. Anybody who's really followed this show?
Oh my gosh.
I get it a lot. God, I am so glad I found this channel, because I feel like I'm alone. I feel like nobody understands me. I feel like I have not been able to say my truth ever, you know. And here, you will be able to say your truth. You know, you will be able to do that. I'll
Thank you.
make sure of it.
To really be myself. I feel like I'm gonna let
We don't have to agree about everything. You don't have to agree with me about things. I'll let you say it even if I don't agree with it. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is, what is your intent? If you have a good intent behind anything, whatever you're saying, it doesn't matter to me. I know as long as I know where your heart is, it's okay. You know, now if you're coming on, you're just trying to fuck things up, that's a different story, right? I've had people come in here and try and fuck things up.
Gosh, I want to be able to say fuck on my channel again. And now that I'm monetized, I'm not allowed to say the fuck word. Thanks for saying it twice, because I feel like I can't even be myself anymore.
Well, I can say it. You know, I don't say it all the time because then it kind of loses its value.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, you know, conservation of curse words. We got to conserve that so that it means something when we say it, right?
I think it gives
we say it all the time, doesn't mean anything.
It really just sometimes it just needs to come sometimes. It doesn't have quite that same meaning as a meanie head. Michelle Cannon Free did this awesome. Good job, Michelle.
She's good job, Michelle. You were right about that.
Good job, Michelle. It's
Elfa, did you lose Toss channeling Elphaba? Okay.
I've been posting all kinds of witchcraft stuff on Facebook just to freak my people out. I think I do it on purpose.
Yeah, I know. And I was in a coven. I actually have been in a coven. I was in a coven for a while. I will tell you, though, the number one thing that I hear from people who have been in a coven and left is this. Why is the number one reason that people leave a coven? Okay. People come in, they think of magic, they go, oh, I must be a witch. They join a coven. Why did they leave? Number one reason from everybody I've talked to who's ever left a coven. Because the leader, they didn't feel like having sex with the leader, and the leader got upset with that. I'm like, wait a minute, that's an abuse of power.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Now, yeah, now that is also one of the same reasons that I left. I did not want to have that kind of a relationship with the leader. And yeah, and then after that I was putting spells on her and stuff. She said she had everybody, but this woman, she had like 7 planets in Scorpio. And she thought I was ungrounded. I wasn't grounded. She said, oh, she has almost no earth in her chart. She's ungrounded. It's like, you have 7 planets in Scorpio, and you're trying to tell me I have an unbalanced chart. Right. But she got people to believe her. She screwed up a lot of things for me too because of that. But yeah, she got people to believe that I was doing all kinds of things to her that I wasn't doing anything to her.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
I just wanted to be left alone, really.
Sometimes what we need to do is just be left alone.
Now that I am in my own place, in a safe place, and nobody else around except me and my cat, I am pretty calm and I am pretty happy. I really am a loner, I think. I hate to say it, but I guess I am.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. That's part of our, I think it's part of our protection mechanism. And being alone is really important when we tap into our intuitive gifts and mediumship. We have to have that alone time, or we can't hear from spirit properly.
Yeah, I think if we're not all of us are meant to have families and children and a whole lot of stuff going on. Maybe that's not what we're here for this time. Maybe we were here for that another time, but not this time, you know? And when I start feeling bad about it, like I feel bad that I never had children or that I don't have any grandchildren or that, you know, a whole bunch of other things like that. But I think to myself, well, maybe that wasn't what I had to do this time. Maybe if I had all that, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. Maybe I never would have got to that point.
Yeah. You know,
So maybe I'd
somebody
be too busy.
and told me that right after my daughter passed away. I was actually, this is how it happened. I was hanging up this Jupiter and Saturn poster on my closet. And the song that my daughter last played on the keyboard, which I have a video of on YouTube, it's the only one I have of her playing the keyboard because I didn't like to put her face all over the internet. And I said to her, Kayla, send me a sign. And the song started playing in my ears at the same time. Adele, Someone Like You, which is the last song she played on the keyboard. It started playing at the same time. I was hanging up Jupiter and Saturn poster. And, well, it's all the planets. It's not just Jupiter and Saturn. Then my friend that knew me and my daughter very well called from Mexico right after that song came on. And she said, Heather, you wouldn't believe it. I just had the most vivid details of Kayla. And she told me she's fine. You are so worried about her that you aren't being able to get work done for God. And you got really big things to do. My friend really believes in the Bible and Jesus and God, so she uses God for all intents and purposes. She said, now Kayla is safe and you can go forth and do the things that you're supposed to do. But you need to go it alone because you're going to need to focus. And Kayla was guiding that whole thing. No joke. And then my friend that way, right there in the chat, told me that my daughter left this world to protect me and to guide me. My dear bro star that way, who's been with me since 2019. We've been rocking this out. That's how it works. Yeah, absolutely, Scotty, losing my religion. Lose religion and find yourself and find out you're God. That's what happens.
See, that's the thing is we think of it as losing somebody, but that's not always what it is. Sometimes, especially if they're a soulmate, and which is different from a twin flame. But if they're a soulmate of ours, sometimes they go on to help us.
Yep.
Sometimes they go on so that they can work on the other side, because
Yep.
sometimes they can do more on the other side. And some of the people that have showed up to me have explained to me it's really quite lively on the other side. They do all kinds of things over there on the other side.
So it's
There's all
very,
kinds of
yeah.
activities.
Yes.
And they are
Absolutely.
helping us from the other side. There are people. Another message that we got, and kind of in a roundabout way, same message I got, is that they think that by killing these people, that they are making it weaker, that they're making us weaker. But some of these people on the other side can do some things that we can't do here, while we're here. And they are banding together, and they are banding together to help us. And so actually, they're making us stronger.
Absolutely.
Because now we have forces that they can't control. What are they going to do? Are they going to block them? Are they going to kill them? They can't kill them.
They
They're
can't.
already in the sun.
I can't even kill me, so good luck with them trying.
Oh, yeah. Are you one of those too? It's like, yeah, it's like, I could be sick, I can get hurt, I can be in an, but I just don't fucking die. And when I die, I don't stay dead. I died and I didn't stay dead. And it's very hard to make me die. I could just tell that there were times when people wanted me to, just were hoping I would die. And it's like, no, I'm busy.
Good
Go
luck.
away. Yeah, good luck with that. Not until I'm ready. I ain't going nowhere till I'm ready.
For you. Good luck to the people who aren't afraid to die. All these people, the real tricker in this world right now, I think all these watch out for doomsday deceivers is Matthew 24.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Quit thinking about doomsday. Quit coming to me trying to tell me that the poles are going to flip and we're all going to, try, or even that most of us are going to, or even that, it's like there's so many other things that could happen too. There's a whole laundry list of ways we could all die, that people can die.
I'm beginning to wonder if people are more afraid to lose their stuff or their life. If you're not afraid to lose, then you should just be living in the moment, doing your breath work, because the whole world's trying to put all their fears on us and stress us the hell out.
Well, that's another thing. I don't think we have to die. That's another thing. I don't believe we have to die.
No, me either.
I believe there are other things that can happen and we don't really have to die. That's another thing that's been put on us. Not necessarily true. We've had a cap put on our telomeres, I know that, and that limits us. What if we were to take the cap off? I wonder how long would we live?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to pop the cap off of that bad boy, off of that chromosome. I'm going to try it. And then what? And then what you going to say? And then what you going to do? Huh?
And watch this. I'm the person who does challenge everything, actually.
Absolutely. Challenge everything. We should really reconsider everything we've ever been told about religion, history, and everything, honestly. Because how much of it's ever been the truth? And the other thing is, when they hand us, at any time they hand us something new, oh, here, take this, you'll feel better. How many times has that been the truth? That it hasn't been something to try and kill us with. Why should we trust people? Why should we trust these people? Why should we trust authorities? Why?
We shouldn't.
We should question every damn thing. All the time. I mean, there's a certain amount. I mean, there's a certain point at which I'm not going to question. Like, there's certain people I trust to be on the level. But I mean, we should be questioning everything that we're expected to just accept. And that, I think, well, and then that gives you the truther label, right? That gives you the conspiracy theorist label. Because you're always looking for the conspiracy. Well, because, it turns out to be true so damn much of the time.
Yep. Yeah.
I've been right about almost everything I've ever suspected,
It's almost like then we really can't. A part of it, this is really tricky on the mind, because if I believe that my daughter signed a soul contract, right, and she left when her time was up, and she bought a Life on Mars tapestry. She bought these things almost like she was trying to warn me to pay attention to those, because her soul knew she was going to be leaving the earth. It's almost like she was trying to let me know that her soul knew, not her mind, her soul knew. So nobody's really dying. So we can't be mad about it. That, like, we come here with a plan. We sign up for the shit we go through, right? And it's to strengthen us. It's to build us. It's to walk us through the fire. And so, almost like, if nobody's dying, then we don't need to seek justice. We need to just trust the universe and have the faith and know that every soul leaves the body when it's time. Not before, not after. I've tried to kill myself many times. It obviously doesn't work. I obviously decide to stay.
Oh, gee, and life has just said, well, no, 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 no. You got a contract.
Yep.
Yeah, you must have got a contract with yourself that you ain't going to be able to do that.
Yep.
See, that's just it, is that I'm not afraid of death. However, I think that we should be able to come and go as we please. That would be nice.
I believe
there are people, I guess, in the universe that just use these bodies like a suit of clothes. I'd like that. That would be fun. Just change your Avi.
Yeah.
I guess that's the deluxe program. Do you have to pay extra for that? That's the premium plan. It seems like a lot of people have the premium plan except for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got to get ourselves the premium plan somehow.
Oh, I need it. And I thank you so much for inviting me up here. I've been feeling, I think it's really starting to weigh on me, arguing with my mother and she was raised a Baptist. So she's got really indoctrinated only Jesus beliefs. And
My mother was hyper religious. You could
oh,
not have anything on the TV except
yeah.
religious.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw how crazy it made her. The more she got into that, the deeper she got into that, the crazier she got.
Yeah.
By the end, she was pretty damn nuts. And she had dementia on top of it. And that, my friend, was, I'm sorry, but, and you know what? Her church friends never even noticed. Never even noticed that she had dementia, or she was getting dementia. But that's neither here nor there. You know what? We're going almost on 4 hours.
Yes, we are. I know I've started yawning and I don't do that a lot.
My goodness. I'm gonna have to cut it soon because I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom and stuff.
It's fine. I need to go to the bathroom too. It's been a real pleasure for this eclipse.
Yes, this has been just sharing the eclipse with all of you. Thank you so much for your presence, your lovely presence here. And I want to say, I'm going to say my things that I always say at the end here. The truth is where you find it. I hope you're always finding some here. The new thing, and you never forget that you are divine and you are divine creators. Remember that. And tell people you love them, because a lot of people are going to be leaving for various reasons. Some of them are leaving to help us. So, yes.
They are.
Another thing yeah. And this just proves it, what I'm saying. Some people are leaving in order to help the rest of us. So, as difficult as it is for those that are left, we have to accept that that's the path they're taking, and it's for a good reason. And, I hope your dear sweet daughter Kayla, thank you so much for taking care of your mom. And whatever it was, whatever you were going through in life, honey. Of course, I wish that you could have gotten the kind of help that you really needed to overcome this. But I do understand why you had to leave. And I think your mom is understanding it too. So, and to all of you out there who have lost somebody, just remember they're not that far. Matter of fact, they're probably around you just waiting for you to acknowledge that they're there. So please do. Don't forget, they're not that far. If you think of them, if you call them, they can just come right to you. They can just show up right there. They can hear you. So, it's not the same as having them physically with you, but they're there. They, heck, your pets have never left you. You've never really lost a pet. When they pass on, they usually they come back to visit me. Sometimes they hang around a bit. Life is eternal. Life is eternal, folks. You are an eternal being having a human experience. You are bigger than your body. You are bigger than the world. You are greater than the world. Who said that? Oh, wait a minute. Somebody said that. What's within you is greater than, who is within you is greater than the world. Ooh.
That's John 4:4.
That's because you are.
Greater is he who lives in me than he who's in the world.
That's right.
I think it's 1 John 4:4, as a matter of fact, since I'm about to be 40.
That applies to you too. That applies to every one of you. You are much bigger than this world. This is just a little tiny Abby that you use to interfere this dimension. That's all this is. It's a very nice vehicle. I love my little Abby and I try to treat it nicely. But it's just a little Abby. That's all it is, love. That's all it is. And we should never think that that's all there is. So, okay, I love you guys. I'm going to have to pull it down because I got to pee.
Love you.
And everybody thank Lady Spellbreaker for coming on and shining her light on, her enlightenment on things.
And thank you for just talking to my daughter, Kayla. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for saying.
Well, she was here for a minute. So I had to.
Yeah.
You know what? It really is hard for them because we don't see them. It's sometimes hard for them to get through. And it gets very frustrating for them because we got our heads in so much other stuff that we don't even notice. They're here. And then people tell you that people try to tell you that you're delusional, but you're not delusional, okay?
You're not.
You're not. Okay.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to be back on Sunday. I'm on Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays. If somebody has something they want to bring in here to talk about, please get in touch with me. My email is right there underneath my name, so take note of that. Right there it is. And you can get in touch with me. And if you have something you want to bring on the show, just get in touch with me. Okay? We can bring you on the show. It's okay. I can do that. It's my show. I can do whatever I want.
Monday's my birthday, so.
Ooh, hey, maybe we ought to do something.
My solar return. I'm excited about it.
Solar return, yay.
I'm going to be 43
okay.
7.
Wow.
Every time I say So next year I'll be 44 and it'll be the year of 8. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to 2025's 999 portal. So that's my daughter's ascension date. So I'm paying attention to lots of things. She was actually cremated on 9/11 of 2020, my daughter.
Wow.
I got the
like
message.
I said, the numerology is very interesting.
Yeah, she left a lot of messages for me.
That's right, Michelle Cannon. Free love is a force that binds the fabric of the universe together.
Yes,
That's
everyone
consciousness.
have a peace-filled night.
Yeah, everyone have a blessed night. And isn't it funny that the witches say "blessed be"?
Yes.
Think about that. Blessed be.
Yes, they do.
I said that to somebody, and they thought that was a Christian thing.
Oh, no.
Funny. That's funny. So anyway, okay, love you guys. I'll see you Monday. If I don't see you before, I'm going to try and get outside at some point and do something from the patio. We'll see how that works out. I'm going to try and do some things in the daytime to get a little bit different crowd. Okay, love you. And see you next time. Gee, I hate to leave, but I got to leave. Okay.
We do.
Okay.
Love you all so much.
Night.
Goodbye.
Night.